During this special time of year, we here at the Real Review 3000 and KHAOS Central would like to thank you for all the support you have shown us this year. It is with our gratitude that we wish you and your family and friends, and even those who may disagree with us, the fandom menace, a happy and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Don't forget to smash that like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button. Trust us, it'll be worth it. Thank you. What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight. This is the Real Review 3000, an hour early because we're going to try to get everybody on here to have a not such a rushed conversation. Try not to have anything where we have to talk over each other. So we'll have people coming in and out for the next possibly 3 hours. I don't want to go over 3 hours, but we're going to talk about the whole of season 2 of The Mandalorian. We can talk about how it's going to, how it tied into season 1. Make sure you guys unmute yourselves because I see 4 of you are muted. And if you want to be muted, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you not to be, but
we're just waiting for you to finish running your mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very soon. You know that. Anyways, we're going to talk about The Mandalorian Season 2, all the stuff we'd like to talk about it, and, all the fun stuff that came up. Bear, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to be here. Have you here.
Good. The good news is I'm not hungover.
That's always a good
wait. Something's wrong with my hearing. He said he's not hungover?
No, I drank a little bit of cognac last night.
And because he said that, we're going to test a new feature. Thank you to Elihu, just to test this out, since he said such a travesty. It's such a travesty that he's not hungover and hasn't been drinking that much. Sorry.
No.
It works.
Nice little snack for the Sarlacc.
Damn, you Sarlacc Bear? What's wrong with you?
Nobody.
If you would have let me finish, I would have told you. Yes, I did in fact drink a lot of cognac last night.
Oh,
I was a little inebriated, but
I'm sorry. Wait.
There's a good thing about cognac.
I know
it doesn't affect you that way.
That's true. So I have to do this.
You don't lose your filter.
Now I have to do this. Sorry, like Yep, okay. It works. It works.
Wonder where you got that idea from, Chris.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Okay, Elihu, just for future purposes, don't give Chris new toys before a show, please.
Sorry.
Oops.
No. All right.
What's up,
guys? How you doing?
What's up?
Hey guys.
We're gonna get right to this, but before we do that, let's get everybody to tell everybody where they're, where you can find them, all that good stuff. Bear, we'll start with you. Tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, and go.
Yeah, you can find me at BearBear Nerd of Fun, and yes, there is a new song out. It's called Days Gone By. It came out the other day, and there was 2 Christmas parties on my channel, Friday and Saturday, and I was a little inebriated more Saturday than I was Friday. So there you go.
That's nice.
Good times.
All right. JJ, go ahead.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You can find me a little bit of everywhere. can find me Sunday nights on Hanstar's channel. You can find me Monday nights on my channel. You can find me Tuesday nights on Nzo's channel, which is Bigger Ford Entertainment. And sometimes you can find me on Chris's channel on Thursday nights. And I'm ready to talk about this entire season. Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me back.
Not an issue, not a problem. Up next, let's do Elihu. Elihu, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
I happen to be Elihu Who. I happen to be found everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Well,
Who?
sometimes, yeah, exactly, me.
Who?
Me.
Oh.
I can be found, yes, me. Sometimes I can be found in between, but if you actually want to find me, every Wednesday at 12 noon specifically at 12 noon, I have my own show called What's Up with the Universe, where I talk astronomy, astrophysics, cosmology, all sciencey fun. And I got 100 subscribers finally. Woohoo!
Oh, nice.
Nice. Congrats.
Yes, thank you. And I can also be found randomly sometimes not, on JJ's channel on Randomness at his Finest, which he forgot to randomly mention that.
No. I'm trying to eat my dinner while this is going on. So.
Oh, I know you gotta eat, dude. So, I can also be found on Jedi Bill 797 Insomniac Soup for anybody who cannot sleep, be up in the middle of the night, or if it happens to be your daytime and not our nighttime. Either or, you can catch me there. And on Chris's Night's channel sometimes, and Bigger Further Entertainment whenever he streams, and sometimes doing a little KHAOS on KHAOS Session with Danny Graham. And I'm also on Twitter.
Yes. All right.
Oh,
up next.
no. That
Yes.
was cute. That was cute, Elihu. That was cute. It just registered what he said. I'm over on Chris's night channel instead of Chris Knight channel.
It happens.
I know.
I just realized that too,
That's a
man.
whole different channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go there unless.
That's what happens when you're on them greens before you come on a stream, you know?
No, it's all good.
The green on the
Greens.
stream.
Lack of greens.
You talking collard greens? Because I like me some collard greens.
Oh, lack of greens. I'm
No.
gonna get my vegetables on right now. So go ahead and talk.
Yeah,
No,
my friend introduced me to collard greens. Mrs. Emery made some really good collard greens. Those good.
Nzo, thanks to Chris, we now have a term for what we are.
Yes.
We're herbologists.
Herbologists.
Yeah. Yeah. I call myself a herb connoisseur anyway, so.
Yeah, there you go.
You know
But
what I mean?
an herbologist makes it sound like you have a doctorate in it, and I think that's better.
I definitely have a doctor right there.
Yeah.
That's my point. All right, Anzo, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
Yes, the name of the channel is Bigger Ford Entertainment. You can find me on the KHAOS list, KHAOS Conversation, Rule of Three, today on the Mandalorian Roundtable. I also got a show called OOC, and on Saturdays we do a sports show called Square One with me, Danny, Mad Mardigan, Chris Knight. Shit, forgot you were on this.
It's amazing what happens when you start a channel and people forget that you started.
Yeah, Chris the Knight.
I do so, and I do appreciate all you guys that come out and support. It's great, man. A lot of fun. I can't wait to get into this show today.
All right, Gaiskar.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Go ahead and tell everybody
Find
about
me
yourself.
on the Basco scenario. You can also find me here on Sundays for the Real Review and Mandalorian Roundtable. See what we're going to replace it with after this is done. Also on Mondays on the Chaotic Conversation with Comic Chat, Danny, Bigger Floor, and Anzo, as well as Chris.
Bigger floor.
Bigger
Bigger floor. We can talk today, man.
Tuesdays on Chaos Risks, as well as Wednesdays on the OOC with my brother right over here, Anzo, man. So yeah, thank you for having me, Chris.
Not a problem. And last but not least, Mr. Positive Candor. Positive, please tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found.
All right. Positive Candor. I can be found on YouTube at Positive Candor and on Twitter at Positive Candor.
Okay. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk Mandalorian Season 2.
Okay, it's over with.
Yeah, it is very good. I'm so glad you were with the program here, JJ. Thank you
man.
so much. You know, I just can't tell you how happy I'm that you actually are with everything.
I knew it. I knew you were kissing his ass for some
My
reason.
toy.
I knew you were kissing his ass for some reason. I knew it. I knew it wasn't sincere.
Asshole.
You just want to take asshole in the sand, so hey, you eat that one.
How someone
All
comes
right.
up with a nice idea and it gets stolen, eh?
Who started that idea, though?
I wonder.
No.
No. Danny started the Phantom Zone, but putting that to it.
Oh well,
Wow.
no, yeah, but I have. I mean, there's other people who do that. I mean, yes, and honestly, I still love your clip better than even that clip because the Phantom Zone scene is one of the best from Superman. I mean, honestly,
Absolutely.
you have a better clip, and you know that it's okay. I only use mine on here, so that's
It's okay. It's okay. It's flattery. You know what I mean? When someone takes your ideas, it's flattery.
Imitation is the best form of flattery. That's
Damn
absolutely
right.
Indeed.
All right, so let's talk about this. How do you think this whole season as a whole flowed from start to finish? Anybody go ahead and let's just talk about that first off.
Well, I think I'll go first because I didn't think it started off very strong at all. For me, it was only maybe the last 3 or 4 episodes that I liked, and 2 of them I thought were amazing, which was the Ahsoka one and the Luke one. But for me, the rest of the season was didn't like the first episode. It was like Dora the Adventure from one place to another planet, you know. They kept repeating the same things over and over again, a lot of the things from season 1 for me. So, but man, when it come down to those last couple episodes, hey man, those were Star Wars. I'll give them that.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd go with if the pacing of the from beginning to end of the season, I'd probably give it a C plus, maybe a B with the pacing. Pacing could have been better. Sometimes I had a hard time getting to the punchline, a little quicker, and overall, it's like pacing slowed it down a little bit, and felt like there could have been just a little more, a little bit faster. And then some places that were too fast, maybe slow that down just a hair, and that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, one more thing just to go off of what you said. I kind of wish they would set a certain time for their episodes instead of having like a 20-minute episode, then 40 minutes, then 30 minute, you know, set a regular time, and hours fine with me, and keep it at that, you know.
Yeah, I would like to see the same.
I agree because it's hard to have the story flow naturally the way it should with different timed episodes. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't fit as much in a 40-minute episode as you can in, say, a 55-minute episode. You know, just a couple minutes makes a difference, but you just can't. If the episodes ain't roughly the same time every week, it's hard for the story to progress naturally. Thank you. As it should.
Well, I did like how the story slowly progressed. You get a little bit of hints. It wasn't all just throwing at you in your face. The only problem I really had was basically the time limits, because it was not consistent. And the only thing that really should have been left out was Chapter 10, the second one, the filler episode. All that could have been done in 10 minutes. Go to the planet, get stuck, hello, boom, and continue on. That did not advance the story whatsoever.
I didn't care about the spider episode either.
Yeah.
I mean,
but otherwise it flowed. Yeah. Otherwise, the thing kind of flowed for me. It was basically a small reveal here. You get a little hint from Rebels and Clone Wars. Okay, back to already started into canon. This is why Bo-Katan's doing this. This is why she's there. And you learn a little bit more how it ties in to the kid in the Mando.
Well, that's the thing, right? This whole season for me was a very slow season. Like Gonzo said, there was only about 3 episodes that were really good. That would be, you know, the Ahsoka one, the one with the one that I like was The Prisoner, as well as Redemption with Luke at the end, right? For me, those were the three that were entertaining. All the other ones were all side quests, very unnecessary. It just felt like many episodes of this season, it wasn't about really Mando. It was all about getting the kid to the stupid. Well, I'm not saying stupid stone, but to the stone.
Has anything been absolutely, except for maybe the first episode? Has anything absolutely been about Mando though?
Yes, I think the episode where the prisoner, right, where they get forgot his name now, it doesn't come to me.
Shellback.
Yeah, exactly. That one was about him, about his decisions in order to get the information for the child and removing his mask and being uncomfortable in the stormtrooper outfit. For me, that was really the most, and the last episode, right, where he gives the child to Luke. For me, those were like the two key real things about him and his character, what he's willing to sacrifice, his beliefs, what he grew up with in order to, to get to where he had to be for the kid. But overall, I think if it wasn't for those 3 episodes, that would have been a shitty season. Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Oh. Anyway,
Yeah,
what are you going to say?
I would actually have to say the one where the kid meditates, the chapter 14. We actually see he's like, okay, when he's trying to go after Grogu, when the shield comes up, when the force shield comes up, he's continuing. He's never giving up. He knows he can't do it, but he does not give up. That shows his dedication to protection of the kid. That's one episode where he actually does that. And I agree with the other 2 ones, Gaiskar.
Oh, is that fair?
Well, I agree with that, but at the same time, how many times blast shields, force fields, whatever you want to call them, in this particular instance, a literal force field, if you can't get through it, why the hell are you gonna keep trying?
Are you a parent? Parents would go through the exact same thing as a kid. If a kid is struck, they can't get it. They will continue to go for it. This is his love for the kid. This is his kid. He kept on going for it. One after another. He's like, I can't do this, but I'm still going to do this. This is my kid. This is my kid.
But
any parent will tell you they're going to go after that no matter what for their kid.
yes, I agree with that. But at the same time, there was other dangers going on around him, and he had to make sure he could protect him with those type of dangers. And when he went through the second time, he got knocked out and missed the whole fight. So you have to value what you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Value your kid and shit, but you have to be smart about it as well. And,
right.
like, going back 3 or 4 times.
It's like a parent, right? Would I not pick up my freaking jetpack and put it back on to get to the top faster?
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
doubt, man. That was so stupid,
right?
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
But no, I am a parent, and yes, I would do whatever I can to protect my family. But if I know for a fact that there's no possible way I can get to my children, I would look for other ways to do it, not keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Especially after it knocked you on your ass for like about
It's
2 or 3 minutes.
called it's called
That's
either
true.
A, common sense, or B, logic. If you can't get through it, why keep doing it? Try to find some other way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I do find it interesting. You guys said this season seemed to run a little slow for you, because to me, it was more connected this time, and I think it flowed better than last season. I think last season we had too many disconnected stories. While yes, they tied together technically, I think it was disconnected in the sense of it tied together better this season as a cohesive story from point A to point B. It's like they did what I said they needed to do last season, which was kind of every episode needed to leave off or start up where the last one left off or close to it.
Right, I agree.
And I think they did a better job of that this time. Sometimes you'd get a jump last season. It'd be like end of the episode, you come to the next episode and he'd be in a firefight and you're like, well, I'd like to know why this has started. What happened to start this?
I can agree with you on that, but I think the biggest issue with it is that it was like side mission almost every episode. And I think that was one of the biggest problems for me.
Dora the
Well,
Explorer. We're going
I-
here. We're
no.
going to this planet. We're going to that planet. We're going to this planet.
It's like you had to build up XP to face the last leader.
Yeah. I agree with all of you, but pardon me. At the same time, it's kind of what's needed in this particular world right now, because it's, they're still fresh out of out of a war between, the Alliance and the Empire. The Empire's fallen. They're fractured. A lot of people don't have a lot, so the bartering system is the only thing they know. I understand that, but yeah, it was like very repetitive from episode to episode to episode. Like, all right, enough already, but that's their way of life. If you help me, I'll help you, whether it's with possessions, with actions, with money, with whatever. It's their bartering system. And I understood that, but they really, really overdid it.
And you see, I understood that
I
too.
scratch your back, you scratch my back system.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I agree with that too. But I think they could have did it in a different way, because if you could do a compilation of every episode where he says, "Oh, I have something for you," she says, "Well, I'll help you if you help me." I think you could have like maybe 15 episodes where that's in it. You know what I mean, including from the first season. So I think it's fine. They just should have found a different way to do it.
It was severely overplayed.
Yeah,
I think that comment you just made, Anzo, is going to be premise for season 3, because he technically agreed to help Bo-Katan take over the throne of Mandalorian, get the rule back, but he never actually said yes or no. So he technically she technically helped him fulfill her part of the mission. So it's now his turn to pay back, and he always gives his word. So I think season 3 is going to go along with Bo-Katan and.
well, yeah, he's from what we're gathering is he's the new leader of Mandalorian, right?
Mandalore, yeah.
Right now he is.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, right now he is. So
That's right.
I'd say if they take Grogu out of season 3, which we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if maybe something happens or what. Who knows? But let's just assume they take him out, because right now he's out of the picture. We know he is.
Mhm.
I think that's what next season's about, is how does Bo-Katan and him resolve this peacefully, because the last thing that Mandalore or anybody fighting to restore Mandalore wants to do is fight amongst themselves.
Yeah, there's not many left. That's a stupid thing to do.
So
I just realized something. The show is called The Mandalorian, but it doesn't say which Mandalorian. Season 3 cannot. Maybe it won't focus entirely on Din. Maybe it can focus. Maybe it can be Bo-Katan's Mandalorian.
there's
I just thought about
possible.
that. I just thought about
But
that.
then why, if that's the way they want to do it, then why even bother splitting Boba Fett off? Except for the fact that he is the one everybody gives a shit about.
I think Boba Fett's going to be the dark underworld about why the Hutts never took over, what happened to Jabba's kid.
Well, no, here's the thing.
How's it going to be about what Jabba was as a kid?
The deal with Boba Fett, I believe, is they're actually trying to do what Lucas wanted to do. The canceled Underground TV series he wanted to do. Just along with LucasArts canceled 1313 game. Focus on the criminal underworld.
I'd be fine with that. I mean,
I think that's where it's going to go.
I think that's what the Book of Boba Fett is going to be somewhat about. Not exactly, but that's where they're going to draw their ideas from. I believe that's what that's going to be about. Now I may be wrong. Hopefully I'm not, because I was really interested in seeing that.
I think they have gone back and they have looked at a lot of the Lucas stuff and decided this is the way, or this is the way. Hey, Bone, how you doing? Dan 200, thank you guys for joining us. Fat Steven Skull, I appreciate it, guys. Let's.
Well, Chris, we have seen the Book of the Mandalorian so far with chapters, so
yeah, but
I think it is going to be the underworld, like JJ says. Yeah, the cancel show, the underworld.
I think what I was saying is that they are now. Okay, so last season, I think was very much Filoni and Favreau went to Kathleen Kennedy and said, "Give us a show. Let us show you that we ourselves, without you, can do this, and it'll make money. That way, you'll see that we can help you rebuild Star Wars, and I think they probably sold it to her. We can help you keep your job. We can help you look better. Just let us do it, please. And I think they did that more in an underlying reasoning for trying to save Star Wars in general. And if it meant appealing to her egotist, that they would say, we'll help you keep your job. We'll help you make you look good with something that people want from Star Wars. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. But they were really doing it to try to save Star Wars. I think that's what last season was about. I think they just wanted to show that the concept of a live action episodic series would work. I think this season has been more about, let's finish up the storyline with Baby Grogu. And then let's also interject and add all these characters that we already know, so we can break off and split off, and we can build a platform. We already knew Obi-Wan was coming out. Originally, it was supposed to be a movie. Boba Fett was supposed to be a movie. I think that they used this season as a springboard for their winter announcement that they made at the investors. I think that's really what this whole thing was about this season.
Like I said, I've said this before. I think it was earlier on, like after the first or second episode. All this was a test. You know, the Mandalorian was the actual test. Now look what. We got Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, Acolyte, Rogue Squadron. All this new stuff that they're going to bombard us with in the next 2 to 3 years. Apparently, they saw the Mandalorian as a major success to be able to want to take this kind of leap.
Not only that, now they've confirmed that the Luke Skywalker series is in development.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the thing. I mean, they
One could only hope.
bring Luke Skywalker in.
Oh, it is.
And, well, yeah, I've heard that too. But you don't bring him in just to bring him in. You
No,
just don't.
absolutely.
I do agree with Dan in some sense. I believe that they are definitely trying to reestablish what they were trying to do in Solo, which was already introduced in the Clone Wars, which is the crime syndicates and the different bosses and stuff. Because in the original trilogy, it's minorly discussed because of Jabba the Hutt. In the prequels, it's a little more brought up because Jabba the Hutt is more explained. The Hutts are more explained, that they are a crime family, and that they kind of run the slave trade and all of that. So it expands it. I think they're really trying to do that. And with Boba Fett, like JJ said, and a couple of you guys said, the underground crime thing, I do believe that's a route that they will probably try to go, and they'll probably try to bring if he's still alive in this time, which I don't think he is, but then again, we thought he's dead. Is he dead? Probably. But they could bring Darth Maul into a series of his own and explore more of the crime syndicate stuff too.
I think Ray Park's a little too old right now.
Well, yeah, but that wouldn't stop him from trying some other way, possibly.
Yeah.
If they're bringing Luke Skywalker back, they're certainly not going to spend the money to de-age Mark Hamill.
No. If anything, they'll bring Mark back just for the voice alone and do what they
That's
did.
what I think they might do, because it's cheaper to pay him for his voice than it is to pay him and do the CGI. They can find somebody. And
yeah, it was a body double and the CGI face, and Mark just prefers part of the voice.
That's correct.
Did any of you ever see the video? There's a video out there with what they did with Luke, and then side by side is a deep fake version.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
It looked better.
Why the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fake looked better.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought that's what it was originally. I don't think it is now, but
That's
Yeah.
not a deep fake.
No, the deep fake looks so much better, man.
it did. It certainly did.
Yeah, sorry, Pickles, in case you're lurking in the chat. Wasn't a deep fake.
No, I think we both originally thought that, and then as time went on and more I read about it, it obviously wasn't. Especially when I heard Mark Hamill actually participated. That's what got me.
Yeah, he
If
put
they
a
can-
little graph and everything about
if-
how much of a deep fake it is.
again, this is why I say I don't believe that Lucas is actually a part of any of this, but I do believe he's on the sidelines, and when he thinks he can do something to help it, he will. I honestly believe that the only way they got him back was to say, he called up Mark Hamill and said, listen, this is more about my stuff. This is about who Luke really was, and Filoni and Favreau are in charge of this. Kathleen Kennedy will have nothing to say about this, or Kennedy's not going to mess with this. If you really want to be a part of the Star Wars you thought you were a part of when I was a part of it, come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think Lucas is doing. I don't think he's actually putting his stamp on anything overtly. I don't think he's absolutely writing stuff for them or directing or anything major. But I do think that if he sees, hey, you want to really make a splash, let's talk about doing this, and I'll make sure it happens. And I think he because I'm sorry, after Rise of Skywalker, Hamill even said he was done. He was trolling it so hard. You don't get Mark Hamill back the way he was talking. So
No.
it had to take somebody like Lucas to get him back. Kathleen Kennedy got him back.
On the second season of the Gallery is up for season 2 of The Mandalorian, and I've already seen it. I don't know if any of you guys watched it or not, but it's in there. Lucas was on set. George was on set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
It was already known, but also the Luke we got, also just like with Ahsoka, was a tie-in, because at the end of Rebels, her and Sabine go off in search of Thrawn and Ezra, or basically just Ezra, so we see her after that on The Mandalorian. Hey, where's Thrawn? Okay, at the end of the season, we see Luke. Okay, this is a tie-in with Battlefront 2. You get to play a small mission with Luke. He's out searching for artifacts and relics and stuff to either A, to help teach him, or B, to help teach his students. Mm-hmm. They're all trying to tie it together in one way or another, and I think they're accomplishing that, but they got to learn how to tell a story better. They just can't put a person here and expect it to fit all the time.
I can
It's
agree with that.
yeah.
But that's the thing, right? They have to take their time, and if they're gonna do it right. Like, measure twice, cut once type thing,
Yeah, of course.
Not what they did with episodes, 7, 8, and 9, which was all freaking rushed, once the baton was given to them. In my opinion, I know it was 2 years between movies, but I just still feel that, they rushed the whole thing.
I say this all the time, and I will always say it is, they didn't want to do George Lucas's movies. I get it, but they could have took more elements from it and did that, and whatever they didn't like took out. You know what I mean? Replaced it, or had someone else rewrite it, or something like that.
Yeah, but can I ask you a question, Nzo, with that thought process in mind, which I don't disagree with? Do you think after watching what they did do, that you could trust them to pick apart and take out what they didn't like of Lucas's and still come up with a decent film or a decent film series?
Maybe not, but at the end of the day, at least we would have got some sort of vision or version of what George Lucas wanted to do, right? Because he always says, like he says, he tries to make his stories and movies different from each one. But what we ended up getting was a rehash of the original sequel, basically.
That is very true.
Original
Chris,
trilogy.
I like to address something in the chat real quick.
Go ahead.
Hey, Pixels, what's going on, man? The deep fake they were talking about, there was a comparison of the actual CGI that Lucasfilm did and a deep fake video comparison, and the deep fake was better, just so everything is clear, so you understand what we were talking about. We weren't saying that it was done by deep fake. That's not what we were saying.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Bear.
I think Pixels thinks it was deep fake, but no, Pixels, they did. They took elements of Return of the Jedi, I think they said, and kind of spliced everything together.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't a deep fake like.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just to say that MB Geek, thank you for being here. Pixels, thank you for being here. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Thank you for being here, Shellback. Appreciate it. Overall, let's just go off the first two seasons, and I don't know Nzo or Gaiskar if you guys watched both seasons fully or not.
Yes.
I'm actually going to rewatch them tomorrow.
Okay.
Been watching with my daughter.
Do you think, and again, I'm going to go off the thought process that Grogu's gone from the series. I mean, again, I can't say that throughout, but if they are, not if, being in development of the Luke Skywalker series and him leaving with Luke Skywalker, we're going to pretty much assume that he's gone. So this is what I'll call the Mandalorian baby Grogu storyline. Did it feel cohesive and like it made sense from season 1 to season 2?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Absolutely.
One, he basically, what's his mission? Get the kid. Okay, get the kid back to his owner. Okay, how does he do that? He finds out how. Then he finds out he needs Mandalorians to find out, to find the Jedi. That's what season 2 comes in.
Yeah, you see,
It flows.
You see, for us, it's like 2 seasons, right? But if you look at the way they do the episodes, it's probably just one whole season. You know what I mean? Broken into 2 parts, basically. They did, okay, we'll do, 8 episodes of the first part of the season, and we'll do 8 episodes of the next part of the season and call it season 1 and 2. But you could put it together, and it could be like one whole season, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the only thing that did not go with the flowing with the show was chapter 11. I mean, chapter 10. The Frog Lady. The filler episode.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's still, it got to her husband, and her husband was able to pass along. Not that was needed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, we could have had 10 minutes crash land.
Well, you couldn't tell me that if he had gone to that planet, that Bo-Katan would not have found him. That would have spread like wildfire. Hey, there's somebody here that you probably should go check out. So I'm not really sure if it was necessary that he got the information from the husband. That is something for sure. Hey, Vile, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, the important thing about the Frog Lady episode is we all learned how important of a food source that eggs are.
Oh, geez, that was crazy stuff.
How psychotic Grogu really is.
Yeah, but then at the end, all of a sudden, he's just playing with him and not even trying to eat him. I'm like, how did that happen?
He was like a weight trainer, eating white yolks right off the.
Well, actually, he was eating eggs and having frog legs at the same time, which is delicious.
Yes, frog legs are good. I've had them before.
Yuck.
Yeah,
They are.
I've
good.
had them too.
It tastes like chicken.
It does.
Hey, Enzo.
Yeah, stringy chicken.
So I grew up in the southeastern portion of the same state as Chris here.
Okay.
And which is right next to the Mississippi River.
I don't know if anything you're about to say is going to actually help your case, because
And-
you're involving me in it already. So
And so anyway, we have our fair share of bullfrogs in the area where I grew up, and I shit you not, the size of these frogs, we would get legs off of those frogs that were as big as the chicken legs that you get from the store.
Really?
Yeah, they're like chicken wings on steroids.
Really?
Yeah, it's one thing I never had is frog.
And yes, they do jump in the frying pan.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yes.
no, that's not cool. Man.
Yeah, it is.
It's all
It's
wholesome
nerves and
and
burn.
yummy when you put them together with some garlic.
Oh,
Yummy.
Okay, now I'm hungry. I don't want pizza anymore. I want frog legs.
I like me some frog legs.
hey, Michael T. I see Michael T. from High Desert Comics. Thank you for being here too. Appreciate very much for all of you guys being here today. Where does Mando go from here?
Mandalore.
Yeah, he goes to rule Mandalore.
Think that's where we're going now? Do you think we're gonna?
Yep.
Stop this light skipping, this jumping around from planet to planet? You think we're gonna spend a whole season on Mandalore or something like that?
I think we're gonna find out what happened with Bo-Katan, and there's gonna be a whole thing about who's gonna rule Mandalore.
Right, because in one of the episodes, Bo-Katan tells him, "Come join us." They're planning some war or something, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I think season 3 is going to be about that. He's probably going to help Mandalore. I don't think he's going to end up being the leader of Mandalore by the end of season 3, but I do believe he's going to start off as the leader. He's going to help them and find some way for Bo-Katan to get the leader.
I think this is a way for Thrawn to come into the picture because this is Mandalore.
But I don't think Thrawn's going to come in until Ahsoka.
You're not going to see anything.
Come on, Kai.
Thrawn will be part of the Ahsoka show.
You won't see anything from Thrawn probably until Ahsoka, even possibly the return of Ezra.
Well, they're also a crossover, so
that is true. That is correct.
I just want to throw this out there. I think Boba is going to go for Mandalore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You seen the Conan moment. Spoilers, everybody. Spoilers, just in case. The very tail end of the finale where Boba sits on Jabba's throne.
Bib Fortuna's throne.
I had a very Conan kind of moment feeling in that.
Yep.
And he was settling down. And he had that same posture that Conan had at the end of the Conan movie. And I'm just like, it's like a little Easter egg. I got a feeling from it. And I think Boba's going to go for Mandalore.
Yeah. I think that's what the Book of Boba Fett's going to be about anyway, is, his eventual rise to being Mandalore.
Practice. Establish a base. Build your power.
Exactly. He just took the castle. He just took the castle from Bib Fortuna, and it's like,
from planet to planet taking over.
Yeah, this is my place now. I dare anyone to say such.
So picture this showdown with Mando for who rules Mandalore.
But why did Boba Fett chose Bib Fortuna? Why not any other gangster? Why not any other rogue gangster? Why him?
But Boba says it in the episode that there's nothing there. That's just dust. The planet's been, scavenged.
But there's Beskar there. Lots.
Yeah,
Beskar.
Mandalore itself. The Empire turned the surface to glass.
Yeah, when they bombed it.
Boba's been working.
There are machines that can restore planets.
Yes,
they have them in Star Wars. Remember the one planet they showed? Remember those factories that were spitting stuff out? I think it was spitting out atmosphere. They were terraforming that planet. I think it was. Which one was where they landed at home base and they would go to the cantina and talk and all that? Those factories were spitting out atmosphere. I think they were terraforming that planet.
I can see
it was a processing planet of some sorts,
right? And because they were like white fluffy things coming out of these stacks, I'm like, doesn't normally dirty stuff come out of those stacks?
Yeah.
Clean coal. After they struggle with crush and everything.
I think the cool thing about Boba taking over Jabba's castle as a base of operations is, that's where he's been working out of for years and years. So, and I like the fact that they had him, take over that place.
Yeah, but why was Fortuna taking over for Jabba? Isn't that the Hutt's plan to appoint somebody, another Hutt or something, of the family member instead of some random person? Why was he there? Why was he there in the first place? He was just Jabba's lackey. How did he get the job?
You would think it would go to
Jabba's
son.
I would, because Jabba has a kid. I'm like, what happened to Jabba's kid?
Bib was Jabba's right-hand man, though.
Yeah, but still, it's a Hutt. It's a family. It's a family thing.
See, that's something I'm not getting. That's something I'm not getting, because guess what, guys? Bib Fortuna was on the sail barge when it exploded. How did he survive?
I don't know. Was he?
Yes.
That's the thing. You would assume he was, but it does not show him at the end.
Maybe he is.
It doesn't. I can. Let's just say this: when
pull up the episode real fast.
when that thing exploded, they're surrounded by sand. You can land in sand and not get killed. If he was in a spot where the thing was exploded, he could have probably, he was self-serving. He saved himself pretty much. And he probably jumped off the barge right when it exploded, because it didn't all explode at once. It started where that gun shot down, and then it exploded out from there. And people on the outer edges of the platform, they could have jumped off. There could have been some survivors. There is that possibility.
Here's my only issue, okay?
I'm trying to pull up the video right now.
Bib really let himself go, man. I mean,
He's
you know what? No. What got me is that I'm sitting there looking at it going like, okay, I mean, you kind of see how you're trying to kind of insinuate that if you sat on that throne long enough or in that spot long enough and did nothing but indulge yourself, he'd almost start looking like Hut. Almost.
Yeah, he was like literally trying to become a Hut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not. I'm all about body positivity. I'm not.
I do not see him on Jabba's sales ship right now. I'm looking at the video right now. Yeah, he's not on the sailing ship.
In a way, I think that he would have been on the sail barge.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the video. I don't see him in the background.
Like, he didn't have to be like right by Jabba's side every second of the day. I don't know.
He was more of a.
It's what's the word?
Oh wait! There he is. Yes, he was on the barge. He's the one that shoved Leia in his face.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, but where does he go when Leia kills him?
Yeah.
You don't see him,
right? Yeah.
When all crap is going
Jabba out, and he's like, "No, dude, I'm gone."
And doesn't the whole barge blow up at the end?
Yes, it does. But then again, here's the thing. I mean, R2 and C-3PO get off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying he could have gotten off. Yes. It's still, you're out in the middle of the desert.
He's nowhere to be found when she's strangling him.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he do? He saw Leia murdering Jabba. So what did he do? Run for the hills?
Basically, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, the whole entire palace ship blew up.
Or maybe that's what he wanted to happen.
Mm-hmm. He ran, whatever, because
he ran
he's seen his opportunity to take over Jabba's operation.
Jabba's dead. Hey, might as well.
Which is another thing too, because I mean, I don't know if he would have been respected by people in Jabba's organization, because they didn't see him he wasn't one of those like strong characters to be running Jabba's organization,
No, he wasn't a Twi'lek that had a set.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, he, in Return of the Jedi, when R2 and 3PO showed up, and he's all like, like he seemed pretty authoritative, to me. When they
until he got next to Jabba, then he was just nothing but a
of course
squabbling worm.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Well, he did approach Luke with authority, like hey, who are you, man?
Yeah, but he was easily tricked also, so that's why. Well, that's why Jabba was not happy with him. It's like
just because you're weak-minded and can be mind tricked by a Jedi, doesn't mean you can't be a gangster. Come on.
Hey, Chris, highlight Michael T's last comment.
Spiderbot?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
in the EU, he bailed out, or he bailed on a low rent speeder bike as soon as he saw Leia choking out Jabba. He went for the power grab at the palace, but got turned into one of those brain in a jar on a spider.
Yeah,
those priests, like the priests.
Oh, yeah.
The
Because
bone monk priest.
Yeah, because Jabba's palace was actually a what's the word I'm
Monastery.
looking for? Yeah, monastery. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and so they might have incorporated some of that. So,
Wow, what a horrible thought.
which,
Think about that for a minute. That's horrible.
yeah, you know. You can always say that if you really think about a lot of the stuff going on in Star Wars that you just don't really think about, it's kind of like, oh wow, like in the scene in Boba's, not Boba's, but well, I guess it's Boba's now, but in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi, when they flip the droid over and they're putting hot pads on the thing, that it lets out a cry. It's like it
it's screaming.
It makes sure you understand that like the droids actually have some sense of feeling or sense of understanding.
Yeah, there's a bit of AI sentient, whatever.
So you can be
sentient. Would that be the right word? Sentient.
You can be a sentient being, but not necessarily have feeling. Look at
empathy?
data.
You mean empathy?
You know, he's a sentient being, but he gets shot and be like, "Oh, I got shot."
Actually, I think it's just like part of the charm or the appeal to preteens and whatnot. To have robots that seem human-like and have human-like reactions.
Yeah, look at R2-D2 when he saw Grogu. He was jumping side to side like he was happy.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Let's
roll that beautiful beam footage.
Yeah, we're gonna show this real quick. I'm gonna make sure I have it too. Yeah, okay. All right. This is something I found the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting." This says Boba Fett escaped from Sarlacc pit. So here we go.
Victims of the almighty Sarlacc, His Excellency Toastnet will die.
We're in the center desert.
In his belly you will find a new definition of pain and suffering as you are slowly digested over thousands of years.
I think that this was something somebody was trying to, pimp out as like an idea.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it was because I seen this.
That was really cool.
So
Not bad.
Since they mentioned Slave One, I have to mention I finally got a chance to love this part. We see the gyroscopic bridge in Slave One. How it actually rotates. The inside of the ship. I'm like, I love that. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool little scene too.
I'm a nerd. I love that part.
I like the gadgets and the gadgets. Gotta say.
I mean, I still. Oh, that's possible. Shadowhunter says, "I swear Boba escaped due to the crate dragon eating the Sarlacc." Oh, hold on here. There we go.
Nah, because there's no telling how long it was before he got out. Days, weeks, months, we don't know. the Krayt Dragon could have got the Sarlacc, yeah, but if he got the Sarlacc, Boba Fett would have been inside. See, it's getting eaten twice. You know, so he had to get out long before that.
Yeah, I mean,
if you guys remember at the beginning of the episode where we see the back of I forgot Vance wearing Boba Fett's armor, you see the little patch of the patch where the thing was repaired. So basically, his jetpack was not functioning when he was in a Sarlacc pit because he got poked by Han, so he couldn't have flown out. They had to get repaired after he got out of the pit. So flying out is out of the question. People say, "Hey, he flew out." Like, no, there's a patch on the back of that patch there. He cannot have it. It was broken inside the pit. I think he just crawled out or got scared by an incoming dragon, and the Sarlacc pit just vomited him out.
Don't forget, he's got a cable that he can shoot out his wrist and pull himself out of places.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, Shadowhunter does kind of bring up a point. I think that they may have implied that that was possible, but I don't know if that was the exact way. I mean, I think that Lucas always intended for him to get out, because they make a very poignant remark, or C-3PO does, when he says, you know, that you, as you're digested in, you know, for thousands of years or whatever he says, it makes it very clear that they're not dead immediately. So, I mean, so I think he was always intending for Boba to get out. And there was either, was it in one of the books that he got out, or was it one of the comic books that he got out?
Well, he got out. Well, he got out. I know for a fact he got out in the Dark Empire graphic novel, because the ship he was flying, he called it the Slave 2, which no one knows what happened to the Slave 1, but he named the ship the Slave 2. He was hanging out with Dengar.
Okay.
Hey, Chris. If more people come in and you need to put me in the back or something, go ahead, because I'm actually gonna just kind of like slide back here a little bit and have something to eat. So
okay. Well, if you want to drop out, you know, we're going to be going for a little bit longer. So by all means, you know, probably at least another hour, if not longer. So
all right, I'll do that, and then I'll come
if
back.
you want. I mean, it's okay. Just say, all right. Yeah,
you got
that.
in for the second half of the show, right?
What's that?
You got people coming in for the second half, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know Nick was. I think Comix is going to. I think Danny's doing it. I mean, we'll see how it is. We got 3 spots right now open, but we'll see how it goes.
I was scheduled for the second half, but I'm like, Chris needs people. Okay, I'm bored. I'll take a mind break my show. Hey, I'll join.
Okay. Positive, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yay. I mean, you could jump in at any time. Just tell us. Well, tell me to shut up at least. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I was, letting everybody else have their turn.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, this is kind of just jump in. That's why I try to get less people on here. Is
so we could all talk freely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you think? Where's this going? Do you think we're going to see Mandalore? What do you think the Book of Boba is going to be about? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think season 3 of The Mandalorian will be The Mandalorian and Bo-Katan and whoever.
I forgot her name too.
Yeah, the other chick and the other guy who
the wrestler
conveniently disappeared in the last episode. But
what
they'll be on
happened to
Mandalore.
him?
I think.
Yeah, shit. I just realized that. Damn, PC.
Didn't he die during part of that?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. That's right, PC. Where the hell did he go? Holy shit, dude.
That is an interesting question.
Yeah, they'll be on Mandalore. There will be, I think, a kind of a Civil War aspect to it, I believe, where the Mandalorian's going to, grudgingly, basically, take the mantle of the head Mandalorian on Mandalore for a while. but I see Bo-Katan having it by the end of the season, the Darksaber. Whether so how that happens, I mean, you know, it could happen by. I think there will be some kind of a struggle with the Mandalorians against probably still the Empire or the remnants of it. I think Moff Gideon will be involved again. So I could see him getting a Darksaber probably back from the Mandalorian somehow, and then Bo-Katan finally gets it from Moff Gideon, like she originally wanted. I think that's how it'll go down.
That makes sense.
If you guys actually watch carefully, when Mendo is bringing Moth in, she smiles, but as soon as she sees the saber, her face is like, "Oh shit!"
Mm-hmm.
It's instantly.
Yeah, she wanted an explanation right away to know. What
Yeah, I love that.
Well, again, I find it really funny that it wasn't like he fully defeated Moff Gideon. The way they made it sound is that pretty much that he'd have to be dispatched of. Maybe maybe I'm taking that too far. He literally disarmed him and then stopped, brought him to her, and brought the saber too, as in, listen, it was just over there. I mean, there's precedents to be set for this. I mean, in different franchises, like in Harry Potter, whoever disarms and acquires a wand is in control of that wand.
Yes.
So, I mean, yes, I guess I can see it being that way, but it's like, okay. I mean, so obviously they're going to go down that pathway.
Yeah. I mean, the Giancarlo Esposito specifically mentions that he'll be in season 3 more.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
I do believe, it will be him and other Imperials, basically on Mandalore, and probably supporting the opposite of Bo-Katan's group of Mandalorians, because not everybody's gonna, want to be on her side.
But Cara Dune apparently was going to take him back to the New Republic.
I don't see that happening because she's getting her own show. Ain't that what the High Republic show is?
I think so. Yeah,
whoever.
Marshals of the New Republic.
Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers of the New Republic. Yeah. So I don't see that happening. I see Grief Karga and Cara Dune probably in that show. The Rangers plus whoever else they want to throw in there. And then, the Book of Boba Fett, I think, is going to deal with the underground thing, because that was something that they had, I think, already had so many episodes already written and everything for it. So they have the episodes written. They probably just got to maybe change stuff a little bit here and there, but they had a whole season or so of episodes already written for the Underground series. So it's just a matter of probably just repurposing a bunch of those scripts to fit the Book of Boba Fett, basically, more.
Hey, Austinator, what's going on?
I agree.
Nothing.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm not going to be on very long because I'm not at home at the moment. So.
Oh, if you still need time, by all means, we'll be going for a little bit longer.
No,
what is your avatar?
It's actually an office avatar.
There's a stapler.
I see it now.
But I want to jump on real quick to kind of, because you guys went over your overall thoughts, right?
For the most part. Just, yeah.
You mind if I give my quick thoughts before I ask?
Go right ahead.
I overall thought the season was very good.
Sorry.
Definitely not as good as the first season. I think this season did take a little bit to get going. the first 2 episodes really weren't that strong. But once we got past those first 4 episodes, I think it definitely improved. And overall, the Ahsoka episode was definitely the best episode of the show. Or not the show, but the season as a whole. Moff Gideon was great. And I like and then the Luke stuff at the end, and them hinting at the book of Boba Fett. Overall, I'm going to give the season, I'd say, a B+.
Okay. What do you think about what could be happening with the Book of Boba?
The Book of Boba, that's actually interesting, because I think it will have something to do with Boba maybe being a crime lord, and maybe the Book of Boba Fett might set up season 3 of Mandalorian.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily. I think they could go more into like the bounty hunting side of things, because Boba Fett is a bounty hunter first and foremost.
But so is Mandalore the Mandalorian.
Tarjan.
Tarjan, yeah.
Din Djarin.
Din Djarin, sorry.
Djarin, that's it, yeah.
Dyslexia.
That's what he was right from the get-go. That's how they introduced us to him. I mean, so I don't know why they would. I mean, maybe they might. I'm not saying they won't.
Right? Yeah. Well, you remember the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game, right?
Yeah.
And Shadows of the Empire, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think they can probably, like I said, incorporate some of that of the Bounty Hunter game, some of the Shadows of the Empire, and the Underworld that they, like I said, wrote a whole season for already. Probably incorporate all those, plus, throw in some freaking, what's the popular game now?
Fortnite.
No, not, I mean, for Star Wars.
Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
throw
but that's like a mix of all the stuff.
Battlefront 2 as well.
Yeah, Battlefront.
But yeah, I mean, they can. Yeah, Boba's just gonna gain more control of Tatooine, of the underworld aspect of it. Even though that Underworld series I thought was based on Coruscant, wasn't it originally?
I don't remember.
I think parts of it were, but I don't think it was only there.
Okay. But yeah, that they're gonna focus on the because Fennec and Boba are both ex bounty hunters, or still bounty hunters, whatever. So you gotta, and I think it can be a darker tone of a series too, would probably help as well.
I gotta say that this season, actually, I know last season we talked about it, like, it's like it seemed like people died and they'd come right back to life, like the prisoner escape one, where they're going in to the prisoner ship. It's kind of like that whole thing. I thought all of them died, and then at the end, of course, they showed that they didn't. And I don't know, this season they really upped, and maybe not like graphic, but they upped the violence.
They upped
I think it's
they
better
were actually
if it's darker in a way, especially if the Empire's involved. It only makes sense,
Well, if these stormtroopers would actually kill anything.
Yeah, there were more stormtrooper action. There were more fight scenes involved. They had a huge samurai battle with Ahsoka. Come on.
Again, you need when it comes to the stormtroopers, you need fodder for them. You got to give extras. I mean, so maybe maybe next season.
And
they do
you've seen the Mace Windu altered ending, right?
I
didn't see that one. I heard about it. I have not seen that one yet.
Oh,
A Mace Windu alternate ending.
Is that Star Wars Meg?
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that Star Wars Meg's
it's
doing?
funny, but basically,
I don't know if
All he says is, MFer throughout the whole thing, but
Samuel Jackson. Yeah, but his character Mace Windu was unlike anything Samuel Jackson's ever played before in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was basically a kindergarten teacher compared to a badass mother effer.
That's because he was a fan of the originals. That's why.
Yeah. He said he wanted to be like, even if he could have just been like a stormtrooper or alien or something, he would have been happy just to be in it. So
I don't know if they're. I think if they have a way of doing it, they'll bring him back.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
And the fact that there's a lot of fans out there that's throwing his name out there, and all those
Yeah.
I have a strong feeling they will write him back.
Oh, Twitter was flooded the day the Mandalorian episode dropped with Luke Skywalker and Samuel Jackson.
Here, if you have not seen it, if you guys do full screen, has YouTube been doing this to you too?
Oh, that's weird.
No,
yeah, I know.
No.
I don't understand why it's doing it.
It won't play?
I'm still alive, motherfucker! You can't kill me, motherfuckers! That's right, run, motherfucker!
Motherfucker, I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker. Wait the motherfucker. It's a fool, motherfucker. Knock off your head, motherfucker. You prepared for that assault, motherfucker? Kiss my ass, motherfucker. I have had it with these motherfuckers, motherfucker. Please, motherfucker. No, motherfucker. Where's my motherfucking chemist?
Rest in peace.
You guys realize that scene, that scene right there was mirrored Darth Vader's scene?
that's
last one. Was Vader Crest the last one? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I think that they're trying to show that Luke has very much mastered both sides in a sense, or maybe not all the dark side, but he understands it. And notice how it's his hand that's cut off.
Yeah.
It does it. That side of it. I liked how they did that.
Can you put pickles in the Sarlacc pit?
No, because I'm not going to time him out. But
Well, he gets what, negative? What? How many negative points is he up to whenever he comes back on your show? Right?
40, maybe 60 now. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That happens this Thursday, so we'll see what happens.
Who's supposed to be on that show?
Ords, LDG, maybe memes. Let me go look.
I forgot who you said it was. So.
Boom.
You like pickles? I like pickles on hamburgers.
It is LEG, Ords, memes, and you.
Who's you?
I think you, maybe.
Who's you?
Him?
Me.
Yeah, because if you want to be. I was trying to get a bunch of the people that helped with the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Ords, you, LEG. I was just trying to.
Yeah, that'll work. We got to submit some questions, or you recycling?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. It's Sunday.
Make it easy on all of us.
Hey,
Just recycle.
Can
okay.
you put like the Sarlacc pit on the wheel, and then if somebody gets that, then they're out of the game automatically?
I would, but then LDG would be the one that gets it, and then he'd sit there and
Bitch about
complain.
it.
Yeah, he'd say that it's rigged. We're rounding up on an hour and a half. Let's make sure you guys, those of you who might be jumping off. I mean, I don't know.
I'll
I
be
put it in
jumping
there.
off.
I'm jumping off a little bit.
Me too.
All right, cool.
Where you going, Nzo?
I'm gonna go chill for a bit.
I
It's
got
his
it.
duty to please that booty. That's what it is.
No?
I got it. I got it. If you're scared, just say you're scared. You know, whatever.
So
Oh,
let's
Lord.
go around and
scared.
everybody go ahead and pimp themselves out again. Bear, if you're sticking around, great. JJ, if you're sticking around, great.
Yeah, I can stick around.
All right, cool. Gaiskar, Nzo, Elihu, are you sticking around?
No, I'm gonna go.
I gotta
Okay,
go.
I know.
I'm gonna go.
I'm sorry. All right, so you're heading out. And Positive, you want to stick around, or are you going to be running?
I'll stick around a little bit longer.
Okay. So Gaiskar, Nzo, and Elihu, why don't you guys tell everybody about yourselves, where you can be found, all that stuff one more time before we get to the 7:30 mark.
Gaiskar.
I'll go first, man.
Oh,
Okay.
There's no
Go
big
on.
Ford Entertainment. Like I said earlier, Rule of Three, Chaos List, Chaos Conversation, the OOC, Square One. These are all the shows we do. I do appreciate all the support you guys have been supporting and watching and checking out the channel. Chris, great show today. Thanks for having me on. Peace out.
Thank you. All right, man.
Subscribe to this guy, y'all.
I'll
Mhm.
subscribe to everybody on the channel, guys.
Yeah, for sure. But where are you at right now? 200 and what?
Like 256, I was at, I believe.
All right, let's get them up to 300, guys.
Yeah,
Just
for
pass
real.
the word along. If you guys are subscribed, that doesn't mean that you're done. Help us out. Spread the word. Tell people about this, because the people you talk to are probably going to enjoy the content. If you enjoy the content, the people you know probably will enjoy the content, because we all hang around the same type of people, because we don't like to talk to idiots. Well, okay, I mean, you guys talk to me, so I don't know what that says, but besides the point.
Double standards.
Nah. Sub to this guy. Even though he sucks at video games, he's got great YouTube content. He's got great YouTube content. Sub to this guy.
You're not that much better, JJ.
I didn't say I didn't say I was.
Okay, I'm just stating that fact. That's all.
All right, Gaiskar, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself?
Well, I'm Gaiskar from the Basco Scenario. I don't have anything on my channel yet, but please subscribe, because when my show comes out, I'll notify you guys. And I'm sure to have many of you on this panel on that first show, since you guys are one of the motivating factors that got me going, especially Nzo just threw me on his OOC. So saying that, you can find me here on The Real Review on Sundays with Chris, Mondays on The Chaotic Conversation with Danny, Nzo, Chris, and whoever else comes on. On Tuesdays, you can find me on the KHAOS list. And Nzo throws in 3 topics, which is also a lot of fun with the chat and everything. Get out. Hey, Danny.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, dog?
Also on Wednesdays, you can find me on the OOC. And saying that, please subscribe to everybody here. Spread the word. Tell your friends, or cousins, nieces, nephews, whoever has YouTube access. We have great stuff that we talk about, and it all comes from the heart. So spread the word.
Indeed. Last but not least, Elihu, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
I am Elihu Who, and I can be found every Wednesday specifically at 12 noon Pacific time on a show called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk astronomy, astrophysics, cosmology, all sciencey fun. And maybe randomly on Mondays, I can be on this guy's channel, Random at his finest. I can also be found sometimes on Danny's channel down there, Chaos Central. If he's actually awake. Yeah, he's awake. Okay. And sometimes this dude's here messing around, trolling him, especially during the weekly Rumble, which I'm still a 6-time non-winning champion, which will change one day. And I'm also non-winning champion. Okay, I just heard my voice echo. That's weird.
I'm a Royal Rumble champion.
No, I'm 6-time non-returning champion.
Oh,
he has not won like shit. You and Positive. And by the way, Positive, I'm going to be tweeting it out tomorrow, probably, your winner certificate after I send it to you.
Oh, good job, Positive.
Yeah, so Positive, Nzo, JJ, And is that the only three? No, and Shellback. There's our 4 so far.
Yeah, Shellback was the first certificate.
Yep. So, all right. Well, thank you very much.
And I can also be found on Twitter. And thank you for having me on here, Chris. And thank you everybody for letting me get that 100 subscribers. Woohoo!
Yeah, man.
right.
Congrats.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, guys.
Later,
Take care.
guys. Take care.
Thank you, guys. I'm taking off. Food time.
All right. Okay, Danny, welcome. Glad to have you on here on this extended edition of the Mandalorian Roundtable. Hopefully the other guys will get here soon. We'll just start off with you since everybody else has introduced themselves. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found.
I am Danny, aka Comic Chat. I have a little channel that I usually share with Chris and Nzo. The 3 of us comprise KHAOS Central, and we all have individual shows. Mine usually is on Monday, called the KHAOS Conversation. Nzo's is on Tuesdays, the KHAOS List, and Chris's is on Wednesdays, Rule of 3. I am taking a break, a much-needed break. I'm taking a whole month off for January. Just got a lot of jobs going on, a lot of things being pulled to and fro. So I'm going to take a little break, but I will be back, hopefully energized and refreshed in February. I'm not doing anything now. Occasionally I jump on people's shows and occasionally I upload streams or videos. But other than that, man, I'm just chilling, trying to relax, re-energize, and come back ready to go.
All right.
I appreciate for the invite.
No, not a problem. Dan 200. The more I see Boba and his new paint job, the more I love it. What do you guys think of that matte finish paint job?
I like it.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah, Danny
makes
is
it
definitely
more like
Yeah,
you
sweet.
survived the Sarlacc pit.
I like it. It looks like a fresh job from Mako.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right, Danny.
I
So
love it better than the old glossy.
Danny, we were talking about, our overall thoughts of the season, how we thought the first season, second season melded together. We were talking a little bit about where we think the Book of Boba is going to go. I'd like to get your kind of thoughts on those things.
I definitely think that the second season was better than the first, in my opinion. I was more engaged. There was only one episode I really didn't care for. I gave it a D-, the one I think just before the Ahsoka episode, which I think is kind of ties like 1A, 1B, the Ahsoka and the final season finale. So those two are definitely my favorite. As you all know, I would have preferred Mace Windu over Luke, but I'm still not mad at Luke. It is a smart thing to go. I think it's step in the right direction of getting the fans back united, because I didn't hear anybody that didn't like Luke. So to me, that's a plus. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing the right things, making the right moves. I just hope that they will be left alone. And occasionally, if they draw a blank, they can call Mr. Lucas. He can go ahead and kind of put them back in the right direction or give them insight on what something may or may not mean. I did a video a few days ago about what if it was Mace instead of Luke, and a lot of people seem to like that.
I thought it was a great video.
I appreciate it. It's just a different perspective. I think that the Book of Boba, I think it would be stupid not to involve Mace some kind of way. That should lead up to Mace and Boba maybe confronting, try to get retribution for Mace killing Jango. But I don't know where they're going to go.
We were talking about that, and we kind of, I think that we were, I don't know, Bear, Positive, JJ, we were kind of on that same thought process so they've announced that they're going to be doing a Luke Skywalker series. And a lot of people, not just yourself, Danny, a lot of people said, they thought maybe Mace, or they wanted Mace. So Mace's name is out there. And really, if you think about it, the two people that people really have wanted to see again. But and let's be honest, Obi-Wan is one of those, but we know we're getting that, and that's a completely different thing, off on a different area. But Mace Windu would be a great addition to one of these for sure. One, it'd be interesting to see how he looked, because there's that underlying group of people that think perhaps he might have been Snoke, which I don't necessarily believe, but it would be really interesting to see how did he come out. Did he come out where he's fully a dark Jedi now, or is he still a Jedi, but is he out for revenge, or what? I mean, it'd be interesting to see that storyline be interwoven into one of these series, or even get that series, because they could put them in and then spin it off. That's what I said about this season. Is I think season 2 was majorly what I said earlier was season 1 was to test the waters and see could it be done and would people be interested. And I think the way that they got it was Favreau and Filoni went to Kennedy and said, "Hey, we can help you save your job and give you a product that people are going to want to watch." I think that's how they sold it to her. I think their true want was to save Star Wars. They didn't care about her so much as they wanted to do it, but they knew the only way they could get to do it and not have her bother them is say, "We'll save your job, just let us do our thing." And then I think this season, once the concept was proven and they said, "Hey, look, we have something, people like it," and it's not just the new Star Wars fans, it's not just the old Star Wars fans, it's a mix, so that's good. And then I said, I think this season then is okay, let's come up with the concepts that we want for other shows, and let's use the Mandalorian as the launch point of it.
That's definitely possible. But
yeah, so I mean,
go ahead.
Hey Nick, what's going on? Really quick here, I need to go to my stream here. And
yeah. Did you guys? What's up, guys?
What's up, Nick?
What's happening?
So I gotta show this off real quick.
Oh.
I got Darksaber as a lamp, and watch.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Dude.
You literally flick it like a smartphone. You know how the smartphone
Put it closer to the mic.
Darksaber.
Wow.
Yo, is that
cool.
Is that the Hasbro one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. All right. Poe, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you very much, Poe. One of our members here on the Real Review 3000. I thank you very much, Poe, for doing that for us. And the $1.99 super chat, I greatly appreciate that. A hippo with a 1-up. Thank you very much. I need to get some sort of a clip that I can play whenever we do super chats. But thank you very much, Poe. And you guys have not been here. I wanted to show you the new thing that I have. I don't know if you were watching before.
Hang on. Let me help you with that, Chris. You know what? You suck at games too. I'm just letting you know.
Starlight Pit. It works. It works every time. I like it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, JJ, for sacrificing yourself. I really appreciate you doing that. Oh, what? Anyways, Nick, how you doing? Go ahead, do me a favor, tell everybody about yourself, your channel, all that good stuff, real quick.
I'm 32 Flavors of NickWeiser. I can be found on Xflix and Chill with Latino Slant, Howling About Entertainment with Jake D, and of course here on the Roundtable with all you fine gentlemen, and of course on my own channel.
All right. And Mr. Comix Division, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself since you're right here.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hello. Going pretty good.
You can find me on Twitter at Comix Division, as well as my own channel on TV. I talk about things and stuff, entertainment-wise.
Things and stuff.
Yep.
That's what you need to put on your channel top, the whatever you call it, the header.
Well, down south, down here, we call it stuffing things.
Stuffing things and stuff.
Potato.
Yeah.
No, I mean you should put that up there. You know, at the top, it's, you know, Comix Division things and stuff.
My old kind of catchphrase was like, subscribe if you like my was it crappy content and shitty opinions, or shitty content and crappy opinions? Oh no.
Yes.
There you go.
It's always fun. All right, so we were talking about overall season 2, what we thought, how you thought it flowed from season 1 to season 2, the overarching thoughts, and Boba Fett. We were just kind of going over our whole thoughts, but since I'm getting a few new people in here on the panel, what were your thoughts of season 2?
My thoughts, geez. The more I think about it, the more I think I'm disappointed.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. I know Danny's not happy to hear that. Yeah. That's kind of my overarching theme. I'm going to go back and rewatch everything and do a season review. But overall, what the last episode really kind of made me very angry at what Disney did with Star Wars, and specifically with Luke. And it was kind of that reminder in a lot of ways. I mean, it's like this is what they should have started with first. They should have given us, you know, Jedi Luke, and instead we got old man who doesn't give a shit. And so it kind of reignited those feelings of anger in me. And overall, I mean, what they're doing, it's definitely a step in the right direction. But at the same time, it's like the only reason why they're doing it is because they got so much backlash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like all the stuff that has gone on for the past 5 years, The Mandalorian doesn't make up for me. You know, it doesn't fix the problems with the Disney sequels. It doesn't fix Luke. Hopefully they continue down this track and they ignore, you know, the sequels. But overall, I felt like they played it overly safe. Sorry, my cat apparently decided to get on my desk.
Cool kitty.
Hey, listen. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a little pussy in this show. It might help.
I thought that cat was a BBC, big black cat.
He's kind of skinny compared to my other cats. There's actually, I have a.
You know,
his son's actually bigger.
There was a time when if a cat crossed my path when I was driving, I stopped, turned around, went back the other way. I don't do that no more, but there was a time when I was a teenager, early 20s. Hell yeah, I went back the other way because there was nothing good that way.
But overall, like I was saying with the series, it was overly formulaic. I mean, basically, almost every episode was very similar, and I won't say in pacing, but just the Mando shows up to a planet. He's trying to complete his quest. He meets somebody. They say, "Hey, I'll help you if you do this side quest for me." He does the side quest, leaves the planet, and that's basically every episode for the season. Maybe with the exception of the last
noise going on, or is it just me?
I hear a ticking sound too. So,
yeah, I hear that too.
At first, I thought it was me, but apparently everybody else hears it too. But like I said, it's I have very, very mixed feelings of anger with this season, mainly because I do think it's a step in the right direction, but they need to stop being so formulaic when it comes to these episodes.
I got a question for you, comment chat.
Go for it.
Would you prefer that they head in the right direction and listen to what the fans are complaining about, or continue to do what they're doing and pissing the fans off?
I would rather them go in the right direction. Like that's the reason why I said it. It's a step in the right direction for sure. But at the same time, just because things are a step in the right direction doesn't necessarily mean it's good though. It definitely needs improvement. Because I think for me, the disappointment, obviously not everyone, I know Chris. Really, Cat? Anyway,
Cat just wants to get his 2 cents worth in too.
Well, he's definitely doing the fuck this thing and knocking it over. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I mean, to answer your question, Danny, yes, I like the fact that they're going in the right direction But at the same time, it doesn't make up for things, though. That's what it comes down to. It's like you think of it as a husband who beats his wife. You know, oh baby, I promise I'll change. You know, do they change? But does promising to change doesn't make up for what they've done in the past. I think it's the best way of looking at it. But I do agree. It's the right direction. Hopefully they'll continue to go down this route, and hopefully they will give us interesting stories. The issues that I have is that every episode of the season is practically the same. Obviously, with some window dressing that's been changed.
Right.
And just because they're moving away from the nonsense that Kathleen Kennedy has been pushing, that is a good thing. But if this episode is bad, we still have to call it out. And that's kind of.
I agree with that. But at the end of the day, were you not entertained with this season?
At times, I was. But
is it better? Is it better than the first season or worse?
It's like there's things that in it I like more than was in the first season. But at the same time, I think overall, with my complaints about season 1, I think season 1 was actually better.
Well, I kind of halfway explained this early on in the first part of the show. The do this for me and I'll do this for you scenario, completely overused, but at the same time, it's understandable. It's like, this is after Return of the Jedi. The Empire is fractured. The New Republic's just starting up. A lot of people don't have a lot of anything. So bartering is that's their currency. I understand it. It has its place, but I agree that that it's completely overused. And what they did with Luke, same thing with what they did with Ahsoka. They're all just tie-ins, because at the end of Rebels, for everybody that's seen it, you see Ahsoka and Sabine going to go look for Ezra. Okay, we see her in The Mandalorian. Where's Thrawn? It's a tie-in. Same way with Luke. Battlefront 2. There's a small mission with Luke. He's out searching the galaxy for relics and artifacts and texts and stuff like that. So it makes sense that Luke was where he was at in the episode. But I also agree with comics. Hey, we got handed a plate of shit first, then we get the filet mignon later. They should have done it the other way around. We should have seen the better side of Luke before we saw grumpy old man Luke.
Even then, I think a lot of it too is it's like I understand that there is definitely formulas to TV shows. And I always like bringing up Brimstone because this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Brimstone, if you've never seen it, it's about a guy who basically commits murder, goes to hell. A bunch of people escape from hell, and he's basically contracted by the devil to go and hunt these people down. So every episode,
I remember that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, it was.
Every episode is about him hunting down another soul, but they change it in such a way that it's not an exact same formula, even though the formula of the series is he hunts people down, and that's what he's doing. It's like the exact same thing with the TV show Reaper, which is really funny. It's the idea that this individual is going to do this task because that's what he's tasked to do, but they hide it with other things that are going on it doesn't come off as formulaic, where this season has been an exact pattern for every episode, to the point where it's just like it's you could easily call what's going to happen in the episode just by understanding what the premise is.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
All right, I'm gonna run through what I said to Danny and to the others at the start really quick. I felt like last season was just a test. Can we get a following? Can we get people watching something Star Wars again? And I think Favreau and Filoni sold it to Kennedy as we can save your job, but they were really just trying to save Star Wars. They said, if you let us do our thing and stay away, we'll save your job. We'll give you something. You say, look at this. Look at this is going on. This is real. This is people like this. And then once the concept was proven, I feel like this season was like, okay, we need to expand Star Wars within Disney Plus. How do we do that? Let's start bringing in characters people love. Let's bring in surefire stuff. Let's get this going. And we're going to use the Mandalorian as a springboard. Look at who's here. Guess what? She's got a series. Look at who's here. They got a series. Luke is going to get a series. And, I think that's what this was designed to do. So what we've done.
Sure. It absolutely is designed to do that.
But here's my next question to those of you who just came in, or well, Nick's, I don't know where Nick is at, but for comics and for comic or Danny, we're done with Grogu. This is the first 2 seasons were the baby Grogu story. We, at least as far as we know, Grogu's gone. So from this point on, and since they've springboarded all these other series off of, they don't need the Mandalorian to springboard. We've set up what the real story of Mandalorian obviously is going to be now, which is something along the lines of about Mandalore, the Darksaber. How does that Darksaber play into what's going to happen between Bo-Katan and him? Because obviously she wants it. Obviously he doesn't want to keep it. He's literally like, well, here, have it, but she can't. They have to play that out now. I think they've set up the story now for the Mandalorian. They've released Boba Fett from this show, so Boba Fett can have his own thing. I think, if anything, we're going to get away from this light skipping, for lack of a better word. What do you guys think? Do you think now is when we're really going to see what this show can do on its own?
Hopefully.
I mean, let me ask you this. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
I think we'll see Grogu again because that's too much of a marketing tool. I mean, that's all I saw in the stores this last month or two. So I don't know if they're going to completely walk away from that because I have not seen the Mandalorian stuff because it would be awesome to have like the Mandalorian helmet, jetpack, gauntlets and stuff. I haven't seen any of that in the stores. So I don't know whether or not they're leaning towards that or not, but Baby Yoda has been a cash cow. So I don't know if they're just going to throw in a cash cow arbitrarily. I don't know. I think we'll see Grogu from here to, if they're going to involve Luke Skywalker more into the Mandalorian series or into the Star Wars universe, I think we're going to see Baby Yoda in some shape, form, or fashion later on down the road. And they were kind of tricky with that because when I first heard about him being returned to his kind, I was thinking about more aliens that looked like him. Now they kind of they're Jedi, so they were kind of duplicitous with that. So I don't know.
I kind of figured from the start that they weren't going to be bringing in other people that look like Yoda. I figured it was the Jedi from the start.
They've only had 2 in the whole series, period. I mean, there's more of a chance they're going to throw ET back in this.
I was thinking we were finally going to see Yoda's planet and tie into Ezra and Thrawn going into the dark side.
I think we're going to get the Ezra and Thrawn.
Unknown regions.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm thinking Yoda's from the unknown regions. That's what I was thinking. I thought they were going to try that.
Again, I'm not sure. Like I said, Filoni would be pretty ballsy to think that he was the one that could show all that. That he could show where Yoda was from. I said it because I don't think they're going to show it because Lucas, think about it. Filoni and Lucas have a connection still. They're still talking to each other. What does that say to Lucas if he flat out has said, I don't want people to know about Yoda. I just want you to be Yoda, period.
He never created a backstory or any kind of anything for Yoda.
So what?
I kind of fun with that though. I like some mystery. I like some things not being answered or handed to me.
That's why I said that's why I said if they were to do that in the series, which we were wondering at the beginning of the season, if they were going to do that after he said you have to return him to his kind. If they had done that, that's Filoni really being ballsy and saying, I'm going to take this storyline. I'm going to show you what Lucas didn't want to do.
No, maybe Lucas gave him his blessing. We don't know.
Yeah, but I just don't. I didn't see that the one thing that Lucas always stood by.
Lucas never thought of Ahsoka. That was Dave Filoni's.
Yes.
That was Dave's baby.
Yes.
So if he gave him autonomy, I can't say the word autonomy to
Autonomous?
make up another whole
Autonomy.
I have always had trouble saying that word. I apologize. If he gave him permission to create another character, who's to say he wouldn't give him permission to try to dabble on the storyline of
Creating
Yoda?
a character.
And if he likes it, gives him his blessing. Because he had never done anything according to what y'all just said. There's no backstory on Yoda Planet. But if he, John Favreau, and Dave Filoni brainstorm and they come up with something that George Lucas approves, who's to say that he won't greenlight it for future use later on down the road?
I've always kind of wanted, backstory or history or whatever you want to say, about Yoda and his kind.
I don't need it.
I'm not really saying, need or don't need, but, some of us, have been out there going, yeah, that would be cool, to see like a whole town or whatever. But
what would it add?
What would it add? Like I said, background, history.
History of what?
Whatever of his planet, his kind, his species, what they do.
But really, in the overall scheme of Star Wars,
I mean,
Yoda is Yoda, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
People have always said they want to see the backstory of these Siths. I want to see how Darth this, Darth that, Darth that. I think it would be a very interesting story to see the most powerful Jedi that we know of, his backstory, where he came from, how he exists, how he came to be, why they're so powerful. That's stuff that would interest some Star Wars fans. Maybe not all, but some.
I don't know. I'm one of those people that like, expansion. So
I like expansion too. But part of the issue with prequels type stuff is that you have two ways of doing it. Every prequel is a tragedy, or it changes things, right? Or part of the things that builds tension and stakes is that we don't know if a character is going to live, right? That's kind of the problem. Like if we start getting into the backstory of Yoda, is that it kind of subverts a lot of that tension and stakes when we know when the character is going to die, and it's not going to be in this series.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm not talking about Yoda. I mean, but going to wherever he's from and getting to know new characters, like Grogu and others of his species, that would be cool.
Well, and I'm not saying don't do it. I don't care, because here's the thing. There's up until Grogu, there's 2 of them in all of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a lot of extra stuff that we don't need. The reason why people are interested,
because everybody forgets about Yaddle.
yeah, that's what I meant. Up until, that's why I said up until now. There's 3 now.
Right.
But here's the thing. That's a lot of extra stuff to throw at us that isn't necessary for the story we know. And here's the other thing you have to think. If they're trying to get away from, and obviously bringing Luke Skywalker back into it doesn't necessarily say they're done with the Skywalker saga, but they're trying to get away from the Skywalker saga and really being attached to it. Yoda's got to kind of take a back seat. That's in that storyline.
Yep.
I think they have to go forward with things that we don't know a ton about. Now, here's the thing. Yes, we don't know a ton about him, but we never have. It's never been necessary. Here's the thing. The reason why people want to know about Sith is there is in text, in books, there is a lot of information about the Sith. People more to the point want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Mace Windu. We know stuff about Mace Windu. We know more about Mace Windu than we know about Yoda. All you know about Yoda is what we see on screen. Yeah. There's actual written text about Yoda, or not Yoda, about Mace Windu.
And I do believe Yoda is either, I don't know if it's the unknown regions or wild space, but it's out there,
But the thing is they've never even pointed a finger at where it could be. You're going off of an idea. Yes, it may be, but we know enough about Yoda because we've seen it either in Clone Wars or we've seen it in the movies We've gotten everything that George Lucas felt was necessary to understand Yoda. He's
Right.
wise. He's old. He's literally the oldest one we know of, and he has fought himself. He's fought with himself inside, with the dark and light side. He understands both sides. We know all of this about him. That's all we need to know. Expanding that does nothing for us, because then you have to literally bring a whole other race fully onto a place that it's never been. That's just my thoughts on it. Now, we had talked a little earlier, and I want your guys' points on this about the Book of Boba. There's a lot of people or several people on this panel have said they believe it's going to be like the crime, the underground stuff that originally was already talked about, like a series of the underground, the crime families and stuff of Star Wars, and that they've already written a bunch of these episodes that were just never aired or never done because it was a George Lucas project, I think, originally.
Are you talking about the
yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it either, but it was the one he approached Kevin Smith about doing.
Yeah. And so they believe that's where the Book of Boba is going to go. And,
I mean, it's a possibility. It's also a possibility that they could be repurposing the Boba Fett movie script.
And that's what but then again, I was sitting there going like, why are we doing it with Mandalore? I think what the Mandalorian's going to handle is the war on Mandalore, trying to retake Mandalore. I think Boba Fett is more into something else. But Bear, was it you that thought that perhaps Boba is really just going there to create a foothold to reestablish himself as the person in charge on Mandalore?
I think his goal is to become Mandalore of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's why he took the throne of Jabba.
Well, see, doing that, going to Jabba's palace and setting himself up as basically the new boss of the territory, is a way for him to build his own clan. You know, you know, and then he can show up and take the dark saber, take the throne, become Mandalore, and it's like, hey, here's the House of Fett.
Well, maybe.
Exactly.
What do you guys think, though? What do you guys think of that? What do you think they're going to do with...
I think what they're going to go for, the Book of Boba, I mean, to a degree, I think what a lot of people, at least Star Wars fans, are expecting out of Mando Season 1 without the Grogu hype, I think we're going to get a Book of Boba instead. So we'll get a show that is primarily on the adventure of the bounty hunter, because that's what a lot of Star Wars fans are hoping for on Mandalorian Season 1. And they got an adventure, but it wasn't just about bounty hunters and shit. It was just about this child. It ended up being primarily about the child instead. So I think we're gonna get that what those fans wanted with Mando Season 1, they're gonna get with Book of Boba. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's why I think they're gonna go. That's why they had that alternative now.
Well, the main purpose or the main premise, whatever I'm trying to say, of the show was that it's a spaghetti western.
Hey, Shell, hold on just a second. Nick, can you do me a favor and turn up your volume? You're really low.
Really low? Yeah. Hello.
Pretty low.
You're still pretty low.
Oh my god, this mic is. I'm having volume.
I can hear him perfect.
I can hear him.
I can hear him too.
It just seems low to me. But okay, all right. You're fine. We'll just.
Do we at least understand my words?
Yes. No, I understood. I understood. I understood, and I heard what you were saying before. That's fine. Okay. Now, Shelley, you were talking about the spaghetti western thing. Go ahead and finish that thought.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the that was the main deal or whatever with this show, is that it's modeled after the spaghetti westerns of the 60s and 70s, and with the which, and partially those movies as well back then were basically just a Western version of all those, Kurosawa, samurai films, So that's the thing, the only thing that, I'm wondering about, because basically, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett both deal in the same world. They're both in the Outer Rim and yada yada yada. So it's there's gonna be a lot of similarities, a lot of comparisons. So I don't know. I just wonder how they're gonna differentiate.
Like, okay.
Nick, you're way too hot now.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real hot.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure we heard you breathing into the microphone too.
I apologize.
It kind of sounded like somebody was in the John.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so if the Book of Boba is, I guess, where people were hoping with the reboot or the whole Boba Fett, movie or whatnot. Okay, he's taken over Jabba's palace, so he's gone back to Tatooine, which is kind of an interesting thought since he's been stuck there for a while. What do you think you're going to see? What do you think we're going to get that's going to be different from what we've already got?
More empty rooms. Okay, that's like another one of my complaints about the series. I don't know if it's an issue with the way that it's being filmed, but if you take a look at the Cantina scene and compare it to the Cantina scene that we saw in, I guess, season 1 and season 2, there's like nobody in there. It's the same thing with Jabba's palace. When we saw Boba Fett, it was like going into Jabba's palace, it was completely empty.
Well, maybe
people.
Maybe in the original series, okay, when Obi-Wan and Luke go looking for the pilot, maybe it was happy hour. I don't know. It's like, every bar is not always
go to. It's
packed,
empty.
Okay.
They're not
come
on, man. I go to a bar. There's more than 5 people there.
That's true. That's no. I get where he's coming from. No, there is more than 5 people. I mean, the only.
Well, I wonder if it's a limitation of the way they're filming, though. It's why can't they get more extras? Or maybe it's a cost thing. I don't know, but
it probably is both. Comics, it's definitely got something to do with the TV budget. But that said, you could still get 5 people in there.
Well, even with a TV budget, you can make a bar have people in it.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. You can still have a handful of people just hanging out, shooting the shit. Yeah, the least they can do, or just CG them.
They can always have more than 5 people because there's plenty of people walking the streets on these planets they go to. So why not just put them in the bar?
Flash, is that really a nitpick? Pointing out the fact that a room looks empty. I mean, seriously, it is something that jumps out at me every time I watch the show. Whenever they're in some place like the prison, it's like, why would a prison be vacant? It's like you got to have guards. Oh, they have the robot guards. Well, why is there only like 1 or 2 robot guards? I mean, it's stuff like that I notice that really kind of pulls me out of the show. Because like if you watch any like regular TV show, you will see like if somebody walks into a bar or a business, there's people in there. And that's kind of the issue I have, is that the world just feels so vacant at times.
Could be an unpopular bar, bro. Our bars are unpopular.
Could be an unpopular bar, is what he said.
Could be, or everybody just decided to get the hell out of the Outer Rim.
Pattern though, I can accept it if it was like one time they go into a bar and it's empty.
Back in the day, no droids were allowed, and now one of them is working the bar. I ain't going there no more, man.
The time where it feels appropriate is like the fishing village. So I'm not going to nitpick that because that actually felt like an area that was lived in. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when you watch something, you can tell if the world feels like it's lived in, and there's times where it feels that way, and there's times where it doesn't. And that really does bother me. Like when he goes to the not the Mon Calamari planet, but the water planet, and they go into that kind of like that pub or whatnot, an inn or whatever. It had more than 5 people in there, and that felt appropriate to me. So I will give it due there.
I mean, I can understand the fact that you know, there's the consistency thing. It's like, you know, okay, I would say that busy bars or busy cantinas in Star Wars are more likely than non-busy. So what you should see is a bunch of busy places and a few not busy places.
Yeah.
I think you're right. We got more of less busy and less of more busy, which is definitely, I mean, think about it this way. Half the reason why Lucas went and messed with the original trilogy was because he felt like there wasn't enough livability in it. He wanted a lived-in universe, so he added people. I mean, I go back and I look at the original uncut version of Star Wars, and I look at the cantina scene, and I don't see it as a horrible scene. It looks
the cantina scene was great. I mean,
he even thought there needed to be more.
No, it was perfect. I mean, they had plenty of different alien species in there.
Yes,
it felt like a real place. It felt like a world you can walk into.
But he wasn't happy with it, so he added people in Mos Espa and in Mos Eisley's. He added people to those scenes, or to Mos Eisley's.
Mos Eisley,
first one.
And I get where he's coming from, because there's that whole thing where I think he basically said no project is ever complete. It's just abandoned. So it's like, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, once it's out there, man, stop screwing with it.
Good luck with that.
Hey, Comix.
Yeah.
Hey, Comix. That another thing along with you know, whether or not it was like happy hour or whatever. In the show, in the TV show, there wasn't a band there, you know. So maybe the reason there were so many people in the bar and in the movie was because the band was there.
Because the jazz players weren't there.
Yeah, they're like, people are like looking at their watches, going, well, they don't have a live band until like 7 p.m. So we'll just wait, and then they go, tinker on their YT 1300 for a while. I don't know.
As much as Shellback has accused me of nitpicking, I'm accusing him of defending things. You're making excuses, dude.
What?
I was giving you shit.
Well, devil's advocate, whatever.
It's
To me,
fine.
it's just kind of crazy that the whole purpose of movies is to escape from reality, and now we're in the fantasy world, counting each brick.
Well,
making sure each breaststroke, and I know it's room for that, but it just kind of it's frustrating sometimes.
There's not much breaststroking going on Tatooine.
Wait, no, listen, Danny, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's escape of the believabilities and all that. But the problem is, and this goes to what Comix was saying. When you look at the way they've set something up, and your mind in that universe expects certain things.
Mm-hmm.
When something's so jarring that it rips you out of that disbelief, then now you have to look at it and go like, well, why am I now thinking about this one scene? What was it about that one scene? Some bit of consistency. Somebody's sitting there going like, oh, we need more people in this. This isn't just we've done nothing to establish that Tatooine has, everybody jumped ship from Tatooine. So we're going to have less people here. So it's going to look more dead. When they went to the cantina from episode 4, there was like 2 people in it. Last time we saw it, it had tons of people in it. Why? We have not established one thing to explain why. It's really late. It's closing. It's really early. It's just opening. And so it kind of, you've already been in this universe so long, you expect certain things. When you see when he's going through and he's going to talk to the guy about the bounty to get Grogu originally in the first episode, the streets are narrow. The streets are full. You have carts out there. You have people, selling stuff. You have, people walking around. It's busy. People are there. And then you go to another place that the last time you saw it, it was busy and stuff. So you expect that. You don't get it. You start wondering, why is it like this now? And you have no context, which is part of the problem with the new movies. No context for some of that stuff. Context at times is designed to keep you in that world of disbelief. So I think, go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with some of what you're saying. But that happens in the real world. For instance, most small towns, if you go back 15, 20 years ago, the main street is booming. There's stores, everything. But now if you go there now, go back to the same town, small town 15 years later, it's closed up, it's dead. Main street looks like it's been ravaged. That happens because things are building up, places are moving, Walmart's coming in and destroying mom and pop stores. That same thing can be contributed or could be equated to these things you see on TV. I don't care if there's only 4 or 5 people on Tatooine or Mos Eisley, wherever. If the story's good, I ain't gonna say, damn, there wasn't about 2 people on there. That I don't like it because of that. That's stupid as hell, in my opinion.
It's not liking it, I don't think. At least
no,
I understand
things that jump out and bother me. That's not ruining the show. It's something that, like I said, that I notice, and you know, and it like I said, it's something I would say I can't move past. But it's a criticism I would have for any show or any TV series that I was watching, especially when it's a universe filled with all sorts of alien life and people and stuff like that.
Mos Eisley,
I got you.
Yeah, that's not strictly just like a Star Wars thing.
Yeah, and with Mos Eisley, the lack of people there, it was really simple. It's a 5-second deal, and this is stuff we've seen when you talk about not Star Wars, but Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2016 when they talk about the Ectopack or the proton packs. When they talk about, you know, their design and stuff, it takes a 30-second scene in an elevator in the first one to explain enough that you understand it's dangerous, but they're funny about it. It takes 30 seconds. It's like a 6.5-minute scene in 2016 that they waste on that. It takes 5 seconds for when he lands in the spot where the mechanic is, for her to say things haven't been the same since the Republic is won. Everybody's left to go back to civilization.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hiding anymore. So we're dead. I need the money. You can take a 5-second line that explains why things are different. I think that's what I would want. I want to know, why are things different? I mean, yeah, can I accept it?
Yeah,
sure,
I mean, if there's an explanation for something, that's fine. Yeah, the New Republic's back in town. People have moved off. They're moving to better worlds now that they have the ability to, to get off world. People have been leaving. That makes sense. Okay, that
didn't they explain it
within the realm of explainability.
There's also something
believability.
That maybe they're having problems with getting extras to fill the cantina because of the current circumstances.
But those could be that with season 1 too. But
yeah.
Well, maybe here's another scenario for you, Comix. Maybe there was a jizz festival going on in Mos Eisley.
Hold on.
I was about to say, are we still doing this? Really?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A fucking jizz festival? Really?
Stop.
That's what the music is called, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Dude, that was awesome. That was my first. That was my Sarlacc pit cherry has been popped. Thank you. That's cool.
You're welcome. Boy, we're going down the wrong line. Okay.
Back on
All right.
Stay on target.
So, yeah, stay on target. Okay. So, what do you expect from next season?
What do I expect from next season?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea at this point. I really don't.
I expect more backstory for Din Djarin. I actually feel like since he is the main character, we should get to know him a little bit. I'm all for keeping the mystery for Yoda and Grogu and their species a mystery, but I feel like for Din Djarin, and especially if like Cara Dune's gonna be off in Rangers of the New Republic and with Ahsoka being in Ahsoka, I feel like if this should be their opportunity to capitalize on focusing on Din Djarin and his life story more. So if they don't seize on that moment, I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
Okay.
I think somebody's gonna pull Mando's coattail, and he's gonna try and do the right thing with that dark saber. Whether or not Bo-Katan's gonna let him do it, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna see a lot of like entanglements with the whole thing with the dark saber. I mean, that's basically what they set things up for, just like Danny pointed out.
Well, yeah, because you've seen it. He don't want it. He was trying to give it to her.
I hope.
I think that's going to change, though. I think that's going to change.
One of the things I think about is him running into the armor chick again and taking off his helmet and her having a heart attack, and then he's like, "Hey, I've learned from other people that we don't have to hide our face 24/7."
Well, see, that was another thing too I forgot to point out last week when we were talking about this. That was a moment I really liked because I was like, that's an appropriate moment for him to take his helmet off. And he did when he was with Grogu. It's like that totally makes sense because this is like his surrogate son and he's leaving to go off to college, so to speak.
Right.
And it makes sense because you definitely have that kind of emotional connection. And it's like that was a part I really liked. Because it made sense, it was emotional.
Right.
There's that.
Yeah, but that was not the first time Grogu has ever seen him. It was.
Yeah, it was.
No. Hang on.
IG-11 was
No, hold
the only
on.
one in season 1.
IG-11 saw him, but he died.
Technically,
But Grogu never saw him without his helmet.
Hear me out. We don't see every single
background when
moment
they're eating.
on screen. Yeah, like they're traveling from place to place and they're sitting there eating a ration or something, whatever
Well,
like
he
that.
tips his helmet up. We've seen him do it. He'll tip his helmet up and eat.
Yeah, we saw that scene. That was like the 4th or 5th episode that happened. Yeah, I remember
What
that.
if he just blends all his food and he has a little like straw up here, like
an induction unit?
That's so nasty.
Well,
don't act like it doesn't happen.
Well, I say that because I had to have a liquid diet when I had my teeth pulled. That's just nasty.
Yeah.
No, the whole helmet thing. That's one of the things about that I'm glad they established or whatever was when he met Bo-Katan, and they're like, oh, he's one of those people, and basically explained the whole helmet thing as it just being a sect, issue, whatever.
They're called the Children of the Watch, right?
Right.
Okay, that's a thing that we can use more of for season 3 to know about the Children of the Watch.
Yeah.
Why they are so adamant about the helmet.
Okay, in season 1, when we first see Din Djarin, okay, he don't have all the shininess on him. Even his helmet's not as shiny as it could be. I guarantee you, the armorer, in one way or another, has seen this man because of all the Beskar that he bought her. And then when he walks out, he's got a nice shiny armor, helmet included.
Well, he already had the helmet. The helmet. It was the rest of from the neck down that his stuff got replaced.
Was it? I thought it was a different helmet.
No,
it's the same helmet.
Helmet's always been silver.
I suspect season 3 will start off with probably either a secondary, a first or secondary, or third line in season 3. They'll show how he earned his helmet.
That'd be cool.
I think season 3 will start that way.
That'd be cool.
I just know that
there's no backstory right now for his helmet.
No, there's not. For that,
because all his armor pieces, there's backstory. We've seen how he got all his armor pieces.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem that the biggest problem here with season 3 that they will have is that they've literally shed every reason they didn't have to focus on him. that they are now down to brass tacks that this is now about Din Djarin and the Mandalorian and himself. Because you're probably Cara Dune's gone, Ahsoka's gone, Luke is there and gone, Grogu's gone. Grief Karga is more than likely going to probably go over to the Marshals of the New Republic because they've already established that she's been working with him. So they've torn apart all this stuff that was kind of that fluff to keep you away from him that kind of kept the show moving. But now it's going to have to be about him. They're not going to go through a whole nother season throwing a whole bunch of new characters, are they?
Who knows, man? I think we'll probably see more Katie Sackhoff for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think we'll see some new characters, but it won't be to a point where, I mean, let's be real here. Some of these episodes were totally backdoor pilots for some of these characters. So I think we're going to see less backdoor pilots and just more of Din Djarin's story. And we'll have our Bo-Katans will show up every now and then. But we got to let Pedro Pascal actually now truly be the star of his own show. He showed elements of it on the what's that, the episode, Bill Burr, not the tragedy, whatever it's called, the one after that with Bill Burr Mayfeld. That, like, he actually, when he was
True Believer.
The Believer. When Mayfeld was riding that whole, that little tractor thing up until that station, like, Djarin was, the one solely bringing the fight to the pirates. We need more moments.
I agree.
Djarin that was a good moment that let Pedro be the star of his own show. Let's get more of that. I don't think he's incapable. I think even a great actor can only do so much with how a story is written.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. And that's like another issue I had with the season was the fact that he did not feel like the star of his own series. He took a back seat pretty much in almost every episode.
You need to keep the helmet on. When you take the helmet off, he
I know that's like
he does not look like a badass.
You've seen the guy, right? I mean, he's not really a badass.
I'll have to argue that point a little bit because
you would
when he was why not? Anyway, when he was Prince Oberyn on Game of Thrones, he was a cocky badass son of a bitch. So,
did you just mention Game of Thrones? Did you
Game of Thrones? I never watched it. Don't give a damn about it. I'm saying
Din Djarin without his helmet on.
Monday's I'm gonna return the favor.
Mando without his helmet on, guys. He's got that same look on it. He's got that same look on his face.
Confused.
He is not hard. He is not hard.
The helmet off, he's like.
I think that's the point of it without his helmet is because he spent so much time with it on. The fact that he's just out in the open public, I could understand that element because it's just like, yeah, you spent the majority of your life in a helmet around people, and now you're in the fish out of water. Yeah, of course he's.
Oh, he did. I played that perfectly.
I played that
perfectly.
Yeah, he's
always looking
perfectly. I bought that.
He actually looked shorter, like a great deal shorter without the helmet. In my mind's eye, I'm like, he
I mean,
get it on like a badass. So
he's kind of short for a Mandalorian.
I would check the box, keep helmet on.
My question here though is that do you guys think that they should go down the line of like the rest of the series, however long it might last, trying to retake Mandalore, trying to follow that type of a storyline?
I don't know if that's something I'd be interested to see for him. I mean, maybe for Boba Fett, but not necessarily Mando. I would like to see him. Actually, if they're going to keep the helmet on, he needs to have a crew, okay? Because we need to have other people that we can kind of interact with. That's kind of the cool thing about Boba Fett is, he's definitely that. The reason why people like him so much is the fact that he definitely can be a self-insert for people because you never see his face. He only says like 5 things. The guy kicked a lot of ass, except in Jedi, where we got the Sarlacc scene that you played previously. I honestly would, the direction I would like to see, there's 2 ways they could take it. They can totally do the Man with No Name and have him go from town to town doing stuff, or he can have a crew and they can do stuff, whatever that stuff might be.
That's cool that you referenced the Man with No Name, the Cowboy series.
Well, that's
great
what
movies.
That's season 1. That's what he was supposed to be, the Man with No Name. It's the reason why they call him Mando before they gave him a name.
My name is nobody.
I would have been fine if they stuck with that formula where they called him Mando because nobody knows his real name. And because that's the cool thing about it is you can have like these areas that aren't developed with the character to keep him mysterious and interesting. And that's the reason why people liked Boba Fett, is because he was mysterious and interesting because we didn't know much about him. And of course we didn't know much about him because we only saw him for like 5 minutes tops in all 3 movies. So it depends on which direction they want to go. I like the idea of him having like building a crew and them going around and solving problems.
Kind of like the Galactic A-Team.
Yeah, the Galactic A-Team, or what was it? God damn, what was that? What was that 80s TV show that they did a remake with Denzel Washington?
Oh, it was on a TV show with Denzel Washington?
No. It was a remake of a TV show. They did a movie with Denzel Washington.
I don't know.
I want to say it was like the Executor, but that's not right.
About the Bone Collector?
No.
The
Equalizer. The Equalizer. There we go.
Yeah.
It was the Equalizer. Just something like the Equalizer, where he has a crew and runs around and solves problems or something. That would be kind of neat.
I don't know. I kind of like the 18 thing better because now I'm picturing. I'm picturing him getting his new ship and it being black with a red stripe.
They could change the music.
I'm just glad Boba still has Slave 1.
Yeah, I am too. I was never a huge fan of Slave 2.
So I'm relieved. And Mando can't complain. He's got a whole ship that he can put a spa in. He can have a place to relax. He's got a whole ship.
That's right, Flash. The Equalizer TV series had a crew. Not the movie.
Yeah.
No, he only had one person.
I thought he had several people he worked with.
He had one person kind of like his muscle, and then the guy that was in the agency with him, kind of like the intel guy.
It's the last time I actually watched that series.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though about Slave 1 versus Slave 2. Because Slave 1 is like a classic first gen badass Bronco, and Slave 2 is like a Bronco 2. It's just not the same.
Okay, so how are you going to separate Din Djarin as himself when he doesn't even have a ship anymore?
Well, I'm sure they can build him one. Shit, they damn refurbish it in damn 10 minutes on one episode, so I'm sure they can build him another one in an hour or two.
But think about it. Right now, they're on a freighter. The freighter is now ultimately Bo-Katan's, maybe. I guess technically, depending on what Bo-Katan's group, which I guess is just the one chick, right?
Yeah, because the guy got left behind.
I'm pretty sure they had other ships on that ship, so they might be loaning him one of those ships. I'm sure they had more than TIE Fighter.
True.
Maybe.
They could fix that Imperial shuttle.
Yeah.
They might be able to do it. Didn't blow up because, they were still in it. It's not allowed to do that. All right. What are your hopes for the other series that they've announced? Kind of talked about this in a sense.
I hope that it's 11 shows total, correct?
Something like that.
10 or 11. I hope that they take just how CW is able to take different shows and do crossovers. I hope that's what they're leading up to do. But I hope they do it better than CW do. But CW, their crossovers usually were better than the actual shows and episodes themselves.
Yep.
So I hope they kind of steal that formula and tie each show into the other one. I don't know who will be the big baddie at the end, but it'd be interesting to see.
Are we talking about Andor or?
Well, Andor. Okay, so the other thing I mentioned is so the other thing I mentioned was that I have a feeling that Lucas, again, is not very completely hands-on on this. When he sees he can give something, he says, hey, try this. When he thinks he can point something in the right direction, he does. But I think he's also handed out something to like Filoni and Favreau and said, if you feel like you're not being listened to, I'll make a phone call. Because I still think he could get a hold of Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, I think that the reason why we're getting
Get a
these
hold of her and push
stories-
out a window.
I think with each show, we're gonna have some shows that'll be definitely more Star Warsy than others, and I mean that. Like, I think there's gonna unfortunately be some stuff that Kathleen may or may not have more of her fingers in than others. Like that. Obviously, it's a movie, but Rogue Squadron, you know, she's gonna put her hands all over that shit. And the Acolyte, that's gonna be all, you know, she's gonna be primarily, you know, instrumental in that. But
I don't think the Acolyte's gonna see the light of day, dude. I really don't.
I hope not. But just, you know, let's just pretend all these see the light of day. That would definitely be one of the projects her hands would be on.
Isn't the Acolyte supposed to be the one that Headland is involved with?
That is it.
I hope it doesn't come out, but if it does, yeah.
There was a recent interview, and Jon Favreau was on Good Morning America last week, and he said the next 4 shows is coming out. So he said the next show that right now they're currently filming the Book of Boba, pre-production of Mandalorian season 3. Next they're gonna do Ahsoka, which Dave Filoni is writing now, is what he said. And the 4th one is the Rangers
of the New Republic. Yes.
Yep. So those are the next 4
talking.
projects
So
they're
you're
working
the first
on.
one he says is going to come out. The first one that's coming out is going to be Book of Boba.
Book of Boba next year.
So they're waiting a year. They're waiting a year.
Technically, because sorry, Chris.
I'm going by what he said.
The Bad Batch hits. If you're one,
Okay. All right, never mind. That's right. The Bad Batch will carry it over for a few months.
Yes.
So okay. And then they're hoping that with Disney Plus that the Marvel stuff will come in and fill in and between all of it.
It looks like they're doing, I mean, right now I'm seeing a pattern here between 2020 and 2021, 2 Star Wars properties on Disney Plus per year. I mean, it could grow or it could stay at 2, but think about it. This year we got Clone Wars Season 7 and Mando Season 2. Next year, Book of Boba and Bad Batch. And then after that, you know, Mando Season 3 with Visions. I know that was another animated show that I was talking about, or Droid Tales, whatever, that R2-D2 thing. So it'll probably be 1 live action, 1 animated thing. That's my guess. I mean, we could end up getting 2 live actions, but I'm just, once again, just doing
I'm thinking we're going to get Mandalorian and Boba Fett the same month.
I think,
yeah, you're going to get about 15 million per episode or whatever they're putting into it. It's crazy. All right. Anybody want to answer this? I'm not trying to be mean to any of you or anything like that, but do some Star Wars fans not like Kathleen Kennedy because she's a woman?
No, they don't like her because she fucked up Star Wars.
Well, not just that. Even more to the point.
It's not the fact that she's a woman. It's what she did, what the promises she made and the promises she broke. And the fact that she's a hack and don't have any talent.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Everybody, I hear lots of people try to jump on Bob Iger for, hoodwinking him. And
I was going to blame Bob Iger too. It's both.
No. Honestly, I don't think so. I think that George Lucas was pretty much assured by Kathleen Kennedy, hey, if you do the sale, I'll go with it. Yeah, she said that. I mean, I think he thought it was in the right hands. Don't ask me why. She was the coffee go-getter for pretty much everything.
Well, but she rose through the ranks of Lucasfilm, and it made sense when they made the announcement. It totally made sense to pass it on to Kathleen Kennedy, and a lot of the fans were behind it. What obviously what we got is what is the reason why people don't support her and they don't like her. They, she fucked up Star Wars. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
she allowed it to happen. I blame Rian Johnson too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it was all about the Force is female and whatnot.
Kennedy assured Lucas that it was in the right hands. Well,
Yep.
that was a big fat lie, because she decided, instead of taking the ideas that George had and running with it, and probably could have made the franchise its money back no time flat, she decided to do it her own way, and Uncle Iger decided to back this dumb shit. So they're both kind of blamed, because she was the one that heads Lucasfilm. He's the one that heads Disney company. Things could have been done a lot better under Kennedy's direction if she'd have paid attention. The fact that I know a lot of people don't like The Force Awakens, but I didn't really have a problem with it. Even though, carbon copy or no, I didn't have a problem with it, because it's the first Star Wars we've had since 2005.
Yeah.
But when Kennedy let Johnson do whatever the hell he wanted, that's when all hell broke loose.
Listen, everything I've read about that states that JJ and all of them said it's your thing, do it. And then on top of that, they could have pulled the plug at any time. You cannot tell me they weren't able to go to the set and see what was going on. You can't tell me that Mark Hamill didn't say anything. Listen, Mark Hamill even expressed
in interviews, multiple interviews.
Yeah, from the beginning too. He didn't wait till
I
his
don't blame.
contract
Listen,
expired.
I do not blame Johnson one bit for this. Why? Because nobody stopped him. Listen to me. If you got a 5-year-old running around with scissors and the 5-year-old ends up falling,
I do blame. I absolutely blame him, because he wanted to subvert expectations. Is the reason why I blame him.
Fine, but he didn't.
Kennedy for not
hide that from the people who could have stopped that.
I know.
Kathleen Kennedy could have stopped it. JJ
they all play
they didn't care.
responsibility.
It was a shitty business model to hire a guy who was interviewed saying that
Johnson's the 5-year-old running around with
Jar Jar. Can't
scissors.
forget Jar Jar.
No. I'm not even bringing Jar Jar into this. Johnson was the kid running around with the scissors. If Daddy and Mommy don't stop the 5-year-old, who's to blame when the 5-year-old trips and lands and stabs himself with the scissors?
Actually, I wouldn't say he's a 5-year-old running around with a flamethrower.
Okay, fine. But is it the fault of the child if the parents don't stop him?
Well, Chris, Kathleen Kennedy handed him the flamethrower.
That's fine. Even worse. That's my point. The parents are to blame. Don't blame the kid that's got the flamethrower running around with him, because if the parents gave him that.
They realized what Johnson did with The Last Jedi was because JJ turned around and tried to retcon Luke in Rise of Skywalker.
He tried.
Here's the thing, Chris. I mean, on what you're saying, yeah. You don't hire a guy who was once interviewed saying that his idea of a good movie is where half the audience loves it and half of them walks out hating it. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the thing though. Like if I went hunting or fishing with either one of my sons, I would expect them to either shoot an animal or hook a fish, not me. Okay, so
you don't want Dick Cheney on a hunting expedition with you, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
But here's the thing. I mean, ultimately, what happened is that he was handed a treatment that was done by JJ. He threw it over his shoulder and said to Kathleen Kennedy, "I'm going to do all these things," and she's like, "Okay." So in a lot of ways, it's like the kid going to the parents saying, "Hey, get me a flamethrower. I want to burn everything down." And
I
then
don't blame the kid.
Here you go.
Excuse me. A parent should look at him and go like, listen, I've done it to my kids. Fuck no.
Yeah, no, I agree, Chris. I mean, ultimately, she's the one who was in charge, and ultimately, the responsibility falls on her shoulders. But to not blame Rian Johnson at the same time, I don't know. Everybody takes blame
to
in
a
that.
degree, because
But with the
Sorry.
exception of Solo, under her tenure, wasn't Star Wars profitable?
It made money, yeah.
It made money. Everyone likes to say that they made their money back, and they haven't. But the issue here is that if you take a look
were you talking about their investment?
Yeah, the return on investment
They
made less and less money though. What was it? Force Awakens made $2 billion. What was it? I'm trying to remember. Was it 1.8?
Everything made $1 billion except Solo.
Are you talking about for the Last Jedi?
Yeah, but it kept going down.
It kept going down though. That's the thing. With the sequel trilogy, each consecutive movie made less and less money. What it should have happened is they should have been making more and more money.
Yes.
Rise of Skywalker, technically the third movie, should have made, in my opinion, $4 billion if they did things right.
Agreed.
Yep.
I don't know about that. $1 billion seems to be the benchmark now. So
$2 billion. The first movie made $2 billion.
That's the only thing that's saving her job, though. And the only reason why it made $2 billion is because we hadn't seen anything, like JJ said, since 2005. So
we haven't seen anything Star Wars related since 2005.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
We were thirsty. So when you're thirsty, you're gonna drink more initially than you do once you're not thirsty. So that's all that was.
Well, yeah, but I understand where Comix is coming from also.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. No, I ain't talking about the two standalones. The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker should have easily pulled $2 billion apiece. And Rise of Skywalker, if the story was done correctly, it should have done 2.5 or 3 billion. I think 4 was kind of stretching it, but it should have been closer to 3 billion if it was done properly, and it wasn't done properly. Now I'm not hating on Disney Star Wars because I like it. It's not great content, but it's still Star Wars to me.
Really quick. All right, so Star Wars made 6.5. That's adjusted in 2016 dollars. This is when this was put out, or that's when they had last adjusted the earnings for that movie. I guess it was 2016. So 6.59 million for Star Wars. Empire was 15.3, and then Return of the Jedi was 59.3 million. It had almost a 3.5% rise, or 3.5 times what Empire was.
That's phenomenal considering that was in the early 80s.
Now listen, take a look at Avengers Endgame. That movie almost made $3 billion, 2.7 billion.
Well, after they stretched it out.
Phantom Menace.
It was around 2.6 billion before the re-release for Endgame. I remember, but still, that's still closer to 3 billion.
All right, listen,
no matter what.
Phantom Menace 99.9 million. Attack of the Clones 114. Revenge of the Sith 142. Again, set point, rise. Then Force Awakens 268.62 million is what this was listed at, and this is back in 2016 dollars.
That ain't right. It's gonna be billion.
Okay, you also need. There's several things you need to factor in when it comes to that money. The marketing around it, and obviously there's the budget around the movie itself, and then the marketing. To say that they're rolling in cash with the last two films is not the case.
Wait, so the next movie, Last Jedi, 220 million and some change, and then Rise of Skywalker 175. And I don't know when this was done, but
that's domestic, right? US.
I'm thinking domestic. It has to be. Let me look it up. I thought
it should show everything in there on Box Office Mojo. But also the other thing too with the Rise of Skywalker, you also need to factor in too is all the reshoots that were done.
So they bought a piece of candy for $1, okay, and instead of selling it to the fat kid who would have given them $2, okay, they tried selling it to the freaking organic, vegan chick, and they made $1.05. Okay, it's like
if you look at the
they sold it to the wrong people. They should have made more money.
If you look at the box office numbers of Rogue One's opening weekend versus Rise of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker opened up to a much higher weekend, but ended up grossing less domestically than Rogue One. And Rise was supposed to be the finale of a trilogy, while Rogue One was just an anthology film. That should tell you something.
All right,
it's supposed to be the film that sends it off, but it doesn't.
So as far as, I don't know if it's adjusted or not, a lifetime gross, I don't know if it's adjusted or not for everything.
Inflation.
Just under $1 billion was episode 7. Episode 8 was 620 million. And this is Rise of Skywalker is 515 according to Box Office Mojo.
There ain't no way that's right. Worldwide, those movies made
I'm
over $1
looking at
billion.
franchise Star Wars lifetime gross. That's what it tells me here. So it went down, 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 according to this.
Yeah, it did.
Now, in 1, 2, and 3, 2 is number 8 on this list at 302. So it went down. Of course, this is over time too. So over the time, people have watched them and bought them more. So episode 1, actually opening. If you look at opening, let me refresh this for opening.
And Flash is like, well, he said he's like, you guys are acting like they made $100 million. They made $1 billion. They're good.
Well, you're not counting in there is the actual box office,
Yeah.
the amount of money that goes to the actual theaters too. So there's a lot of money that's coming out of there that you look at the numbers like, oh, they made $1 billion. They basically cover their $4 billion cost for buying Star Wars. The reality is no, they haven't. They probably made half.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Maybe
saying.
half.
That's why I'm saying they should have doubled their money. You know, they should have turned that $1 into $2 instead of, just making a nickel. It's
Really quick, guys. Final Death Star's here. He has a show coming up really quick here. I want to get his opinion of the season 2 overall. Book of Boba. Give us some thoughts on what you think of that. And then let me know what you think overall of the first 2 seasons. Did they meld well together, or just some of that stuff? Final, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Just don't say Game of Thrones.
Hold on. Just a second here.
Wow, that's 3 times in one live stream.
Now, I want you to sit back in that back room for a little bit and think about what you just said. Go ahead, Final.
How did Boba get out of that? Have we decided yet?
I actually showed it earlier, and it doesn't actually show it.
No, yeah,
it
never really
says he
showed.
did. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's still undecided. But I wonder if we will get any more backstory to how he survived. I'm guessing probably not. I think that's something they'll glance over. But yeah, I mean, overall the season was good. I felt like it really heavily relied on legacy characters. And Ahsoka. Not that she's a legacy character, but the Clone Wars is now what 2000. When did the movie come out? 2008, I believe. So it's quite a bit. It's 12 years old now. So I feel like from everything we got from the sequel trilogy of Kill the Past, all that crap, this show has progressively been digging up the past, digging up the fossils. So it's kind of really gone the opposite direction of what they were trying to push. This season really went overboard. I mean, well, not overboard. It was a good thing because we finally got Luke, despite how he looked. It was still at least the Luke that we wanted to get. Ahsoka was really cool seeing her live action. I thought Rosario did a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with her in the spinoff, the show Ahsoka. It seems like from the poster that the markings, that are on the back of where it says Ahsoka are kind of the world between worlds, the veil of the Force. So I don't know if they're going to use that to retcon anything, with the sequel trilogy. I'm not sure. Or it could just be a reference to the fact that she has, she was a part of it, or that that's how she survived. I don't really know. I have a feeling that might be an opening for how they're going to retcon certain things and change possibly the sequel trilogy, or at least they're leaving the door open. I mean, if they change it, and the thing is, it's tough because they've got all these shows coming out, and if they affect it in one world, it's going to have to ripple through every other show. So all the writers, it's going to be quite an undertaking to do that, because everyone's got to be on the same page on board. So it's going to be tough, but with the response of the finale for Mando 2, season 2, I think it's sending them a clear message that that's the direction that a large part of the fandom would like them to take. And seeing that in the background gives me maybe hope, or at least curiosity as to, are they going to go that route? Boba was great having him in. We kind of, Barry, you're actually the one I think that called it last season when you heard the stranger. You heard that sound that was the same little jingle that he has in Empire Strikes Back, and you called that sound. So that was cool to see it. It was him, and to get a little more of his the legendary tales that were told of him, and now we're getting a whole show of it. So I think it's
final. If you remember correctly, we discovered together the Bill Conti theme in the Mando music.
Yep. The Rocky. Yeah.
I'm still getting comments on that every now and then.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, you listen to it, and you're like, yeah, that's definitely it's reminiscent of Rocky and
similarities, but I still don't think it was a steal or anything.
Yeah, it's just similarities. You could tell it was definitely inspired.
It's an homage.
Yeah, it's a little homage. Yeah, it's not a ripoff. It's more of a homage.
I mean, look at what's his name was in it. That from Rocky that he played in Rocky.
Yeah, Apollo Creed.
There's a connection. Yeah, Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
And whenever you see him, you can hear the hint of that Bill Conti theme song whenever he shows up. And a lot of times when certain action scenes, whether he's there or not, you can hear it subtly in the background. It's still there.
An homage to it.
Yeah. Nice one, I say.
Yeah. Subtle.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that this season Baby Yoda was just kind of in the background, more or less. Although the season kind of did still revolve around. I mean, the whole point of Luke coming into the show was to get Baby Yoda, but he was more of a background character. He wasn't using the Force, just other than a few scenes here and there. And when he did use it, I thought it was done well. Like when he was throwing around the stormtroopers, they used it in a way that, like, okay, that's kind of cool, and they didn't overuse it. He wasn't saving the day every episode and stopping the Mudhorns, in midair. So yeah, it was nice to see him not be like the main character. I still want to know more about Mando's. We didn't really get too much of his backstory, or his with the clan, his clan that went, or the coven that I guess is all dead, or some of them are dead. The matriarch I think is still alive because he's last saw her.
They all left. I thought.
Yeah, I thought they left
first.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought they left to get out of there. Some of them might have been killed, but the rest of them had to evacuate. So I want to know more about that story. Like, where's the matriarch? We didn't get her at or the armorer, I think they called her. We didn't get her at all this season, so I think that'll come into play. I have a feeling that there's going to be some conflict now with Mando coming from that coven of, they're kind of like religious fanatics where they don't take off the helmet. They have this very ancient belief, but now you've seen Mando take off the helmet multiple times, and he's getting influenced by
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Yep. And so, now he's got the Darksaber. So I'm guessing that's going to come to a head, with Bo-Katan and him probably having to fight for control of Mandalore. I'd love to see Mandalore live action. That'd be cool next season. But I think the armor, there's going to be something. I think there's going to be something there with his wanting to take off that, or not wanting to take off the helmet, but the fact that he has taken it off like multiple times now. I think that's going to lead to some dissent with his whenever he does find the armor and the coven, and then is there going to be kind of like a little civil war for Mandalore, a battle for Mandalore? I think that's the direction they should take the show now that Baby Yoda's out of it. Let's focus more on the Mandalorians.
Hey, final.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but seemed like I saw some little article or something where Pedro said that he liked being able to take off the helmet, so we could see his face.
No,
but he still doesn't want to take it off too much. So, supposedly from the horse's mouth.
So, just to give you the easy way to retcon this again, I gave him an easy way to do it before Rise of Skywalker. All you had to do is go all the way back to before The Force Awakens with Luke and have him come out of a vision, a Force vision of what was possible to happen.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he had to stop it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do the
that-
same
that
thing.
would
If you
make
do a Luke Skywalker series, right at the end of it, have him have a vision and realize I've got to stop this. Or you introduce Kylo's character in the Luke Skywalker series, and instead of what happened in the movies, you change that and he stops his path to the dark side right there. And then he realizes I have another student to go find. I can really easily retcon everything to make it make sense. They have the way to do it and not say that they were wrong. It's just, will they be bold enough to go out there and say, hey, look what we did? Isn't that cool?
I think Bounding in the Comics came out with an article a few days ago talking about how they, I don't know, there was allegedly they were thinking of not really retconning it, but including it was very convoluted and I didn't really like it. Didn't really make a lot of sense, but they were basically saying that Luke was the way he was because he knew Baby Grogu was out there and he was trying to hide Baby Grogu's existence from the First Order, from Rey, from Snoke. So he had to pretend he was this grumpy old disconnected from the Force, master, to all for the sake of hiding Baby Grogu, who would be, I guess, 30 years older. So I don't know how old, maybe teenage Grogu, which that just seems like it's too convoluted. There's too many questions that raises, and there's a lot of issues when you start going through.
He wouldn't do that just for one student. Because
it's very.
Out there? How many force sensitive users are out there? A lot.
Yeah.
You're not going to find them all, and he's doing all this for one. That just.
Yeah, and there's something about the reason that Yoda burnt down the tree, the Jedi tree, was because the books that were in there were given. There was some knowledge of Baby Grogu in there. There was a prophecy, like the prophecy of Anakin was more. It was deeper than just Anakin, and it involved Baby Grogu, and Luke had to burn those books to hide it. I mean, this is the whole thing. He couldn't bring himself to do it, so Yoda had to come and burn down the tree, to burn down the books, to hide Baby Grogu. It's this whole, they're trying to write around, instead of just saying, like you said, Chris, always a vision, and stop it from happening, or using the world between worlds and altering the timeline. They're trying to, write around it so they don't have to really throw it out and say we were wrong, it's trash. But, it's like, well, if you look at it from a quote, a certain point of view, they're trying to go that route. Or that was what the rumor was. That's what the article of Bounding in the Comics was saying. Yep. I don't know if it's true or not. They said they don't know if it's true. It's just what they heard from a source who had been accurate on other leaks. So I don't know. It seems like the thing that we can, I guess, suss out is that there is potentially talk about trying to change, the sequel trilogy in some way. So, I don't know. I mean, I think the impact of this show helped to do that, but again, like other people have said, the impact of the show also probably means that we're going to get Kathleen Kennedy, staying in power for another, I don't know how many 5-year contract, whatever she signs, because
her contract is up, but they're just going to keep extending it is what they're going to do.
They'll extend it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But do you know how many years that would be extended for?
They'll just keep extending it, I guess. I don't know.
Anytime after your initial contract, chances are, just to be safe, it'll be a year, 2 years. Because what they'll do right now is they'll say we're extending it because of circumstances beyond your control. So if there was an issue with her, if they weren't happy with her, they're not going to hold her accountable for what you would call an act of God. They just can't. They can't out. That's what they're going to find a way to basically say we can't out her just because the past year's been crap.
I mean, I would definitely rather have at least quote unquote decent Star Wars with her name still on the letterhead than to continue having stuff like freaking TLJ and whatnot,
You mean TLJ?
If she just sits back and does, if she just sits
that's
back
kind of fun,
and
right? You'll get more Last Jedi type stuff with her being around.
Well, the thing is, she just sat back and was the head of Lucasfilm. Look at what Marvel
Feige.
Look at what Feige's done. Yeah. Does he have his hands in it? He does, but he lets the people he hires do their job.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah, but even with the next phase of Marvel, we're gonna be getting agenda before story.
maybe more than likely, but I'm going to give it a chance. Up until this point, though, has he flat out failed us? But he hasn't necessarily been the one digging in and messing with stuff like Kennedy has. I mean, that's what Kennedy needs to do. She needs to be up there. She needs to sign the paperwork, say, yeah, go do this. You do this. Fine, you do this.
She can get the money for the productions. Let someone else take creative control.
She'll get that executive producer credit. Because basically, executive producer is a very interpretable term. So just a lot of people can literally do no actual physical work, but they'll still get the exec credit. So if she's getting the executive producer credit without putting your fingers in it, I don't care. But if she's gonna put in her Rose Ticos and purple hair lady to smite us all.
Hey, Nick, stop being a chauvinist. Her name was Admiral Haldo. Give her.
All right, so purple hair lady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Admiral Purple Hair Lady to you.
Come on now, Chris. As a fellow former military person, okay. Well, dude, come on. She was wearing a damn ball gown the whole damn time. Okay. She wasn't even wearing a uniform, and she was
Listen,
a corps
you should
admiral.
know that if your commanding officer wants to cross-dress, you let them.
Hey, Chris.
Well, maybe in the Marine Corps, but
Oh, we just eat crayons.
Hey, she's subverting your expectations.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and dip. Han dropped the drink.
Hold on.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap this up, guys. Final. We're gonna let him start. Final. Tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, and then we'll go around. But we're at the 3-hour mark, and that's what I said today. Guys, thank you very much for this season. You guys have been great. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. Final. Tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be on the panel with everyone here, and looking forward to next season. I am found Death Star. My channel name is now Enter the Unfamiliar. We have a live show starting in probably 20 minutes to a half hour with Flipped Out of the Phantom Collective over on my channel. We talk about the UFO phenomenon, paranormal, biblical prophecy, strange mysteries, and hidden histories. So if you're interested in any of that kind of crazy stuff, some esoteric stuff, come on over, check us out. We go through UFO footage, kind of discuss whether we think it's real or not. Some of it's pretty crazy and hard to dismiss. Some of it, you can kind of looks a little CG'd. So it's fun to take a look at that stuff. And then we do a weekly topic. We're doing we're actually continuing from last week, our Yeti conversation. So come over and check it out. Yeah. Yeti Wookiee Yetis.
Yeah. Earth Wookiee.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have one here though.
AJ, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You can find me a little bit of everywhere. You can find me Sunday nights on Hanstar's channel. That's where I'm going right after this for Jackbox game night. Come by, check it out, play some games with us. You can find me Monday nights on my channel. I do a weekly live stream called Randomness at its Finest. Random panel, random topic kind of situation. Come by, check it out. Like, share, subscribe. All the stuff that goes with it. Then you can catch me Tuesday night over on Bigger Ford Entertainment, which is Nzo Hodges channel. Damn. For the KHAOS list with Nzo Hodges, Danny Graham, Chris Knight, LDG Pixels, and Elihu Who for whatever Nzo wants to throw at us. And then finally, you can find me on Chris's channel on Thursday evenings sometimes for the weekly Rumble. Either as a contestant or a combatant, as I'd like to say, or sometimes Chris likes to change it up and I come in as a wild card. And it was great to see everybody. I'm looking forward to coming back for next season. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Not a problem. Thank you for being here.
I catch y'all later. I'm out.
If you guys want to drop out, you're more than welcome.
Take care.
I know Austinator, you've been here. You've been very quiet. Austinator, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found?
What's up, guys? This is the Austinator. I was basically dead the entire stream. I had to disappear for a little while, But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at the Austinator17. So if you ever want to hit me up and message me, go ahead and do so at the Austinator17. Also, I have Discord, so if you guys don't have Twitter, that's a-okay. Just hit me up there at the Austinator. And I have a YouTube channel, the Austinator, where I have over 100 subscribers. I don't really have a subscriber goal at the moment, so if you guys just want to subscribe and just come and listen to my bullshit, go ahead and do so. Sundays I have a show called Shadow Eye, which I didn't do last week because the scheduling last week was kind of just weird. But I'm going to be doing that next week, where we will be reviewing season 3 of The Office. This Thursday, Splash Talk is, going to be more fan fiction. And Friday, Good Old Wrestling, we will be reviewing TLC, and we will be doing a little tribute for Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper, who did sadly pass away a couple days ago. So go ahead and check that out. Also, sometimes you can find me here on the Real Review 3000, Chris Knight's channel, whether as part of the weekly wrap-up, the weekly rumble, or the Mandalorian Roundtable, which it was an honor to be invited on, and being kind of I really wouldn't say a permanent member. I'd just say a drifter. Like, I'm the guy, I'm just a hitchhiker that someone picked up on the side of the road.
We adopt you. You belong to us. Just realize that while you might be the redheaded stepchild that everybody kicks down the stairs, you are accepted here.
Gee, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. You can find my sentiment in the mail.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that.
Sometimes on Mondays, you can find me on JJ, aka Sith Lord 3827 channel, where I'm sometimes part of Randomness at its finest, and sometimes you can find me on Big Afford Entertainment's channel, where sometimes I'm there when they do their game streams and watch some fair, even competition, and me maybe ragging on Nzo about how the Browns are better than the Steelers, even though tonight was an absolute shit show for them.
I don't think so. We just clinched the division there, buddy.
Well,
after 3 straight losses,
it doesn't matter. 12 wins.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to be in between these two right now.
It's gonna be tense. I feel like it's very tense.
This is getting spicy.
But also, you can find me also everywhere. I'm a stream whore and a topic whore, so go and also subscribe to everybody here on the panel. Pretty cool guys, and if you don't subscribe to them, I will personally show up to your house dressed up as Kratos, and we're gonna have a problem. So
appreciate that, Austinator.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Let's go down to Mr. NickWeiser, the beer of 32 flavors.
All
young,
right.
young Lemmy, as I call him.
Yeah,
young Lemmy.
I'll gladly take that. I'm a big Motorhead fan, and
Who would win in
Hawkwind
a
too.
fight,
I mentioned Hawkwind.
Lemmy or God?
Good question. Lemmy is God. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
I love it. I love it in what is it? Airheads.
Airheads.
Good
Yeah.
question. Lemmy is God.
Lemmy is God. All right. Anyways, I got a bunch of movie reviews up at this week coming up on my own channel, 32 Flavors of NickWeiser. I did the KFC movie, A Recipe for Seduction. Oh yeah, I did that. Of course, Wonder Woman. I survived that movie.
Oh my god, I'm in the middle of it right now. I have an hour left of it. I was like, I can't believe it's 1 hour.
Stop.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm not like, I will give you $50 to turn around. Turn around. I'm not
I gotta start working on my review for it, man.
Oh,
Don't
fine,
go into the
fine.
light.
Have it your
Stay
way.
away from the light.
I'm gonna try and get my 15 back. But anyways.
Oh, I didn't pay for it, so
yeah. Good. Yeah, got a bunch of reviews this week, and I can be found, as I mentioned earlier, on Xflix and Chill with Latino Slant, Holly about Entertainment Jake D. I'll be looking to get myself around on other panels, so whoever is feeling cordial, I'll be looking to get on your panel. I'll be starting my own panel next month, middle of the month, right in time to talk and debate WandaVision with 32 flavors of entertainment. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be excellent. So yeah. Come check me out. I'm at 147 subs, so I can taste 150. I'm getting there. So if you like what you see, hit that button and savor the flavor. Thank you, Chris, and all you fine gentlemen on this panel. This has been truly remarkable and excellent every Sunday night. So thank all of you guys. You guys are sweet poib.
Well, I will say this as we go along and see what Marvel and other things do. We might do more of these. I'll ask you guys, what you want to be a part of. But I definitely, I will look at doing more like a 3-hour show next season when Mandalorian comes back, where we can split it up, so we don't have to talk over people. We don't have to worry about people coming in and out, because last year we stayed with about 6 to 7 on average. This year there's been 15 of us. I'd say a good 10 plus has been pretty average. So I really appreciate you guys. Let's go to Shellback. Shellback, tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found.
Well, I mean, you can find me on YouTube and Twitter under the Shellback TJC, just like it's labeled here. I don't really have anything to promote, even though this year would have been a great opportunity to sit at home and make videos and stuff, as much as we were forced to stay home. But I'm one of those people who let 2020 get to me. So, in fact, 2020 was the cap on a past shitty decade for me, in my humble little opinion. So with the things that are going on with our leadership in this country, I don't know, I don't want to say that I have like any plans or whatever for 2021. I mean, there's one thing possibly, but I don't know if I'll, when that will happen. So I'm just gonna tell the audience, to subscribe to. I mean, if you want to subscribe to me, fine. I'm not gonna stop you. That would be awesome. But subscribe to everybody else for sure. And I'm brain farting right now, so I'm done.
All right. Bear, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
You can catch me at BearBear Nerd Fun, and every now and then Final Death Star's there for the late edition on Saturday, and sometimes we have the Four Horsemen on a Friday, and it sort of covers the things that go bump in the night on Fridays if we have the Four Horsemen, or it's just a late edition. We could be covering the original Star Trek, or some of the most favorite sci-fi things out there that we'll cover. We cover them randomly, and Wes Moody's there occasionally, and we like to have fun.
All right. Comix, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself. And
well, as everyone knows, I'm not a Pisces. You can find me on Twitter at Comix Division. YouTube channel name, Comix Division. Cover sometimes comic-related stuff. Typically try and talk about entertainment, what's going on in the middle of watching Wonder Woman 1984, so I can give my review on that. Yay.
It's so bad.
It's not a total loss because you still get to look at Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Is that really sad?
That movie's just so boring. Oh my god.
Oh, dude, it drags on even more. Sorry to cut you up.
How could this movie be 2 hours and 30 minutes? It could be an hour and a half. It should be done. I should be done with it. Should be done.
You should be.
They had more cooks than they needed.
I think they actually have less cooks this time around.
No, it was actually, I want to say, written by Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins needs to stick to directing.
But didn't she do that monster movie at Charlize Theron?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did do that. So I don't know if it
that was her first actual feature film.
So I didn't see it, but I don't know that was well received by audience.
Yeah, Monster was it's a good flick.
I personally thought that Charlize Theron would have played Cheetah better.
Anybody could play Cheetah better than Kristen Wiig.
No matter what,
That's the
Cheetah
first thing
cannot
I
look
wondered
good in a
about.
film.
The fucking corpse could have played a better Cheetah.
Chester plays a better Cheetah.
Can Captain Marvel play a better Cheetah?
No.
I had to. I was testing.
Anyway,
All right.
that's all I got.
Oh, dude, have you seen this? Oh, I just saw this. I'm sorry. I was trying to wrap everything up so I can chill out for the rest of the night, probably.
Oh gosh! Oh my god! That's hilarious. That's funny.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
It's like somebody's like, "I heard you. I'm going to post this."
Seriously, that's basically why you don't hire a guy like that to make Star Wars movies.
Dude, I hope to God you didn't just jinx Cobra Kai. Okay.
Oh no, I hope so too.
Big snake and the big snake. Yep.
All right. Well, guys, I want to say thank you very much for all that you guys have done this season. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, when we started this last season, it was like, hey, who wants to do it? And we've grown from, on average, 6 to 7 people to having 15 people in the chat. In our group chat. And on average, I'm having to figure out how to get you guys in, those of you who are extras from that weren't here last season, which is amazing to me. And I really appreciate it. Everybody who's in the chat here on the stream, thank you very much. You guys have been awesome. I couldn't have hoped for more. This has grown to be something very, very big. And I'm hoping for much more next season. Maybe with Boba Fett. I'd love to do this with the Boba Fett series. Hopefully it's good. I mean, I think we do a really good job of objectively looking at it for what it is. Even though Danny thinks we might pick it apart a little too much. You know what? They put this stuff out there for people like us who are so nerdified over it that we have to do that. That's our job. They've given it to us to do that. So,
well, if we can make Comix Division truly happy, I mean,
if we do that, you're going to see the most
I'll never truly be happy.
No, they'll come out with the perfect Star Wars movie, and then he's going to go like, "Yeah, but
I'll give it a
why
B.
did it take him this long?"
I'll give it a B.
All right, guys. With that said, I am Chris Knight, Real Review 3000. Chaos Central is another YouTube channel I have. I'm looking for 5,000 subscribers. I want to be there by the 1st. I'm only like 109 away, 100 or so. Guys, if I don't get there by the 1st, or technically the 1st, the 2nd at midnight, whatever. I mean, I'm giving it all day, but on the 1st. But if you guys can help me spread the word around about all the people that have been on this panel throughout the season, everybody, just even if you're sub to us, we ask that you go and tell other people you talk to sub to us too, because those people more than likely like the same stuff you do, which is what we do, because that's why you're sub to us. And if you could pass that word along, we'd greatly appreciate it. But trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, if you guys can help me, I greatly appreciate it. You know what? Comix, Bear, Austinator, Shellback, Final Death Star, NickWeiser, Comic Chat, Nzo, Gaiskar, Sporking News Podcast, Positive Candor, Elihu, everybody that's been on this, guys, go check them out. All their links are down below. Please check them out and just spread the love and help everybody else grow, please.
Chris, you forgot Sleepy, Grumpy, Dopey, and Doc.
I know. That's okay. They'll forgive me later. But with that said, guys, it's coming up on the new year. We just passed Christmas. I'll talk to you guys again, I'm sure. And with that said, guys, everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Hey guys,
Thank you.
thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe to both channels and make sure to check out our friends in the Fandom Minutes. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and BitChute. And you can also send us an email at Shaun@ShaunStackhouseReacts.com and Chris Knight at TheRealReview3000.com. And be sure to swing by our Teespring store to pick up some awesome merchandise.